But, God dang it, Alan. Made us wait for nothing. It should still be doing it. Give it a shot.
Is it?
Throw some emotes in the chat. Should still work.
Hello, gamers.
Don't. Yeah, there it is. There they are. Bobby needs a. Oh, can everyone hear us? It looks like the video is all wonky because I adjusted it earlier. How's everybody doing?
One more person needs to sub to start a hype train. Come on. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
You're better off not seeing Carson or Travis.
That's fair.
Truly.
Rip.
Yeah. Travis and fully on board.
Well, hype train is close. I'm so close. So.
But the hype train.
Rachel just turned her head and looked at me. Well, on that note, terrible note. Oh gosh. I feel like I haven't done this in a million years, and I just did it a couple days ago. I'm tired.
Homie, we're professionals.
A thrilling Driftchapel session, I will say.
Yeah.
Oh, almost killed Bradley. I mean,
yeah, that first round of combat, I was just like, ooh.
If you want to know what happened, watch the VOD.
Now I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
It was very dramatic and intense, but that's the point. And I gotta find ways to challenge high level players, high level characters.
It was really cool combat. I did think it was very funny to see the difference between like Bradley being reduced to near death and then Drew just running around wild style, just punking on everybody.
Oh yeah.
Great time.
Yeah, because that's, and I said this in the session, like the way that the Driftchapel like system is kind of built is like the enemy's damage output increases like as the players get higher level, but their HP doesn't. And so like you can still, you know, especially as you get higher level, you can kill them so much easier, but their damage output's a little bit higher, which means they could insta-kill the, you know, a weak spellcaster, but the martial character can just go through and then everybody's dead, and it's all donezo, and we prove that.
It really makes initiative seem to matter a lot.
It does. It really does, and especially since they're fighting like kind of cultists and eldritch magical things. One of the things that's kind of sort of being established is any of the humanoid cult people use the Toll the Dead cantrip. And so if there's a bunch of cultists, and this happened in the first combat, I was like, hey Drew, roll 4 wisdom saving throws, because they all use it, and so it's that kind of thing. Huh?
Can I say something?
Yes.
Something I really want to say. Thank you, Contravis, for the tier 1 sub.
Hey.
I just wanted to say it. Thanks for the gifted sub.
Thank you for the sub.
Honored. Thank you for the tier 1 sub.
What's up, yes, Alan? Did my...
Yeah, but that's why you kept asking if they'd taken damage. That makes sense now.
Yep. So, looks like my OBS had frozen for a minute, but, yes, I see these gift subs now. All the... Man, Austin with the cat jam emotes. There are a few new announcements.
Bobby needs to win.
Bobby needs a win. Speaking of Bobby needs a win, leave me alone. Thank you, Steve. Oh, thank you, Steven, with the hype train. Oh. Ooh.
Let's go, hype train!
Steven. Oof.
Lemon's wilding out tonight.
Man, once we've all been vaccinated for like 6 months, Steven, I'll kiss you on the lips. So, a few actual announcements. The first being is that we've gained some ground, I guess, unexpectedly, and we reached the 100 follower goal that I had set a few weeks ago.
Oh, really? Congrats!
And before you start getting excited, here's the problem: is most of the rewards for accomplishing these goals involves you guys, and I don't tell you that.
Us?
You. So for my 100...
little surprise, even to the players.
It's okay. This is what we agreed to when we signed on that
Yes.
bottom line.
Getting roped into
Logan
shit.
owns your souls.
Yes. So we reached the
fine
100 follower goal, and on my Patreon we reached the 10 patron goal.
I can't read.
Both of them involve you guys, and one of them could involve also the Shadows over Driftchapel people if they so choose. For my Patreon goal, we reached 10 patrons. For the Patreon,
I don't know what you're agreeing to yet, Bradley. Don't agree
for
to
the
it yet.
Patreon 10 patron goal, the reward was to do a live, like, sort of fireside chit chat with these people. It's like, because how we do this Sharn After Dark thing semi-regularly. I figured it'd be fun to do sort of a live one, and we all sit around in our PJs and a robe, grab some beverages, and just sit, talk with people in chat, answer questions, talk about tabletop RPGs, get deep, talk about philosophy and our feelings.
I don't want to talk about my feelings.
And then play Rocket League after. So that was the
Play
reward.
Rocket League during.
So I will convene with them and we'll figure out a time to do that. I figured we can just cancel a Sharn Nights and do it then, but Jacob wants to not have to work the next day, so for no reason whatsoever.
Fuck me, am I right?
Yeah, how
Why,
could
what
you?
reason? What reason could that be?
The other one, which involves everyone that I play with, the 100 follower goal, is to essentially just do a fun one-shot using a system or a theme voted on by all you guys. People at home, our players, all that kind of good stuff. And so I have a poll that I'm going to throw up. I wanted to include so many more options. However, I had to trim them down. So it's essentially going to be split in half, a few new systems and a few one-shots we've discussed set in essentially the Sharn universe. Burn Brights. I thought of it, that was one I wanted to clue on there, but I couldn't. There wasn't just enough room. Mostly because I didn't want to present you with too many options and then everyone votes for a different one and then we're still at the beginning. We make no progress. What I'm going to do is I will go ahead and start the poll. I will have it run for probably a very long time during the session. It'll probably message every once in a while saying like, hey, don't forget to vote. But that's just because I want everyone to get a chance to participate.
Is there a way to do like ranked choice? Or is it just you vote for one?
I think it's just you vote for one. Unfortunately.
Technology hadn't caught up yet. That's fine.
I can make it last for however long I want to. I'm just going to do that.
It'll last forever.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and start it. You'll see a little message in the chat, and I'm going to walk through kind of what each response is. The first one is Blades in the Dark. It is essentially an entire system based around heist. And so you take on a role in a heist, you plan a heist, and you execute a heist. Super cool system. I've been wanting to do it for a very long time now. So if you want to see some people do some heist adventures, that would be it. Call of Cthulhu, most people know Call of Cthulhu, horror system. I left that kind of up to interpretation because we could do a more modern Call of Cthulhu, we could do old style Call of Cthulhu, whatever we wanted to. But of course, Eldritch horrors and madness, insanity, things like that. Mecha hack?
Can we play as the Eldritch horrors? Is there like a mod for that?
No.
Mod? What is this, Gary's mod? What are you talking about?
The Mecha hack is a cool rules light system where you play as essentially a mech and their pilot. So think like Gundam or Voltron, things like that. And you defeat aliens and other robots and stuff like that. Super cool. Now here's where we get to these Sharn ones. What I dubbed Squinch's 11. Squinch's fiance has gotten kidnapped and he's putting together a team of imps to go rescue her.
His rat girlfriend?
Yes, his rat girlfriend. 21 Sharn Street, that's about Bob in his heyday as an officer of the Sharn Watch. So you'll be playing in the city of Sharn in the midst of the last war when everything's utter chaos and things are running rampant. Bob has a sweet mustache and mutton chops and full head of hair. And then the final one is the Sharnies. Thank you, Alan. Essentially, you guys play as children in the streets of Sharn and go solve mysteries, hunt down treasure, do whatever it takes, based on The Goonies, which is, of course, my favorite movie and my screen name, my online name, namesake. So those are kind of the options. I had all sorts of other ones up there. I had Vampire the Masquerade originally in there because I wanted to do that. The Dragon Age tabletop RPG I wanted to try out, but of course
I didn't know that was a thing.
Yep. There's also a Mass Effect tabletop RPG. And so like
I know that was.
yep. And so I wanted to include as many as possible, but we would need to make a decision. So you'll have plenty of time to vote. You will just use the command !vote space and then the whatever the command phrase is. So whew, that was a mouthful. But yes, get to voting, and then it might take a few weeks to get the one shot put together. The other one I do was a Game of Drawers, where it's Game of Thrones but silverware and kitchen appliances.
That mecha hack one sounds too cool.
Yeah. So get to voting. Anyone can vote, and we will start working on who's going to be playing in that and putting all that together. Looking forward to it.
Why isn't there a lifeguard one?
Because Alan, it got lost in your stupid ass gill hole. That's why.
Got sucked up in your gill hole.
Hey, Alan. Hey, Alan.
Hey.
Put your money where your gill hole is. Write one.
I like
I'm
it.
just saying, there's Patreon exclusive content about being a lifeguard.
Here's what we'll do. If we ever have an off week,
Don't concede
you
to
will
this.
all make a paladin Oath of the Water's Edge, and you will all play a lifeguard paladin, and it'll be a pool-themed one-shot.
Please let me know when that's happening.
So you
I
can be
get
sick that day?
I was looking through races as for a new character build a little while ago, and I found this one. I forget, it's some sort of fish person. I was like, this is pretty interesting, but it had the caveat: you must be fully submerged every 4 hours, or else you die.
Yeah. Can you imagine like how strange that'd be, like in a dungeon, and like you deathly look at someone, you're like, I need to find water, and it's like, we
Yeah.
have water skins, like we'll be fine. Like, no, you don't understand. I will die in 5 minutes.
You could instead just make it house ruled a little bit, kind of like SpongeBob with the helmet of
Yeah.
water bowl.
I love it.
I did it for a session. It wasn't bad.
It wasn't bad.
That is true. He did do that.
Was that the race you used?
Get wet or get
Uh,
wrecked.
Yeah. No, remember there was a part in the coffee shop I had to wet myself.
Oh yeah, you went to the bathroom, I
I
think,
had
and
to,
wet
I had
yourself.
to dunk myself in the toilet, yeah.
Well, great
Vile.
story, Alan.
I hate you.
So yes, keep voting. That'll probably stay open for a long time. No other new announcements as far as I know. VODs on my YouTube, Patreon, yada yada yada. I think that's it. Oh, and if you hear us make mention of the next campaign, we're thinking about it. We're just thinking about it.
If you pay Alan $15, you can choose what class and race he plays the next campaign.
That's it.
Lawful good human commenter.
Yep.
Totally
What's
normal.
the least destructive to the campaign? Let's find that one.
Okay, sorry, 15. I misspoke. $50, and you can tell Alan what to do.
Alan is playing the sign leading into town.
And he'll somehow still find a way to get everyone off track.
No, let's lean in.
The sign
Let's
points
lean
the
in.
wrong way.
Yeah, you remember if you've ever seen Puffin Forest's channel? Let's do an absurd build.
One level in everything.
One level in every class.
Oh man, that sounds like a character
What could
Alan was
go
gonna
wrong?
play.
Yeah.
Crazy. With that, I think that is the end of announcements and stuff. Let's get flipped over. I was outside my middle school play. I bet you were. Let's see. Looks like everyone's good. I need to fix Carson's video just a hair. If anything, for people at...
You gotta switch. Carson.
Oh, I did get them
Xavier.
switched.
Well, Carson, you will be playing the role of Spike today, and Xavier, you will be Varian.
I'm sure it'll go very well.
Xavier, very impressed.
Xavier's busy.
What is he busy with?
I don't know.
I'm just sitting here. What do you guys what do you want from me? I was listening to the announcements like a good student.
Like a good student.
Okay.
Now, Alan, I have a question because I'm an old person now. What does no cap mean? I've heard it, but what does it mean?
Like no lie.
Excuse
for
me, young
real.
man. Could you please explain what PogChamp means?
No cap means no lie.
Why? Like, what is the?
I think it's from a song.
Oh.
It's most things that are a trend. It's from.
I just want you guys to know that Austin is cackling in the other room. I can hear him
I want to
cackling.
know. Never mind.
Let me look it up.
Totally poggers. Yep.
Jeffers.
I just want to know why you wanted to ask why to a term.
Because usually it has some kind of origin. Like I gotta know.
Google says
Know
the
your meme.
expression is closely associated with slang in Atlanta area hip hop.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Logan, you know your hip hop, right?
Yeah. Especially from Atlanta.
Rooted in the sense of cap as
I've
in
seen Logan
top
hop before.
upper limit.
I have hips.
And they haven't
Oh,
been known
also-
to hop.
I found out the other day that I pronounce my S's a little differently, or like
Okay,
I
we're-
shape my. Sorry, never mind.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to
I was
Sharn
gonna-
Nights Linguistics, where we talk about weird shit that we say.
I was totally fucking with you, Alan. Continue what you're saying. It's not like we're
Uh,
bad or anything.
Well, okay, where do you guys put your tongues when you say this sound?
I guess it depends on like what word I'm saying.
Yeah.
Stripper. I don't know.
I like stripper.
Yeah, but that's because it's being followed by a TR. But if you say the word like start, it's a little like farther back.
Start.
Sizzle.
Well, where's the
It's
tip
around
of
where
your
the
tongue?
gums meet the bottom teeth.
Yep, sure, that one. Yep.
But is it the tip of your tongue or like just behind the tip of your tongue? Mine's kind of behind the tip of my tongue. It's not a.
Sharn
Maybe a little
Nights.
bit.
Sharn Nights. Where does your tongue go when you say Sharn Nights?
Sure.
To my bottom teeth.
Sharn.
Arm.
Yeah,
Sharn
well,
Nights.
the question is, am I doing
Uh-huh.
a Sean Connery impression? Well,
All right. Well, last time we played last week, playing D&D as we do. Of course, because this is a D&D tabletop RPG channel.
Dundons and Dardons.
Yeah, you could have fooled me.
If any, that's what I was gonna say. If anything sounds weird, I was playing around with the layout and adjusting sound and stuff. I added some new music into our rotation. I added some new music in general for certain sounds and things. Right now, you're not hearing the jazz, but you're hearing some more dramatic music. So if it starts sounding weird, or you don't hear music, or the music is too loud, just let me know. The tip of the tongue to the top of the teeth. Yep.
The lips, the teeth, the tip of the tongue.
So, last time, you took your person of interest to Andith Tower, the headquarters for the King's Citadel, to do some interrogation, some interviewing. You got your choice of an average, normal interview room, an anti-magic room, and one with some magical interviewing additions. You chose the anti-magic room. Got him all set up in the little iron gloves, iron gauntlets. Put your two finest interviewers in that room, and the rest of you took post back in the observing room and observed. Through some amazing rolls and some interesting uses of spells and skills and things like that, you sort of got your person of interest cornered. You could tell that he was putting on a very good act. Right. He was putting on a very good act. It would have probably gotten away with it if any other kind of investigator had
Hadn't
been
been for those
meddling kids,
investigators
those
and that
meddling
damn reporter.
investigators. However, for the few people in Sharn who could possibly roll above 30s on checks, you did it. Using some tactics, you got him cornered, and in a way, got him to confess. But instead of answering any questions, giving out any information, he wanted to strike a deal. The deal, effectively, boils down to a pardon for anything he might confess to, in exchange for helping you and giving you any information you might need, and helping you until this thing is done. Not a very strong case, except he mentions that there's a time limit of sorts. That if he's gone for too long, he doesn't meet with the proper accomplices or proper people that he's just supposed to be meeting, then they will know something went wrong, abandon the entire plan, and then starting from scratch. So, you sat and discussed putting him in an orb of silence, and talked about making this deal. Your friend, Dark Lantern Usid, went and got the paperwork drawn up. Dr. Hannibal Lecter and the Sharn Nights crew. Basically. She went and got the paperwork drawn up and got ready. And we stopped there so you guys could take a week to come up with questions, which I'm sure you all did and wrote them down as well.
When we go back in there, I definitely want Killian to go in as well. Because one, because he's a cop. Second, because Meta, you might need him to roll a 30 again.
Yeah, so effectively, what the contract itself is vague. It's just sort of the two sides of the clause of what he will be granted, what he will be granting back, things of that nature. Then it's just a matter of Usid or Killian going in, explaining the contract to him, signing it off, and proceeding with any questions. So,
So, are we really gonna give this guy a pardon? I feel like that we need to judge the information beforehand.
I don't
Doesn't that
think
make
that's how that works. It's not like you can inspect a house before you buy it, or before you put down an offer.
He's holding all the cards.
You can absolutely do that.
Nope.
Have you ever bought a house before? Did you not
No.
go in and go with the realtor and they're like, "This is the kitchen," or
Do
it could be a nursery.
you no? Me buy
I'm
a
not
house?
crazy, right? Like that's how realtors work.
It was a bad analogy, but
No, it's
the point
perfect. Magic.
stands.
But no,
Your people
regardless,
do that, right?
What's a realtor?
we're okay. But no, here's the thing: we don't know how dangerous this guy is. We can't just agree to let him go for free just for we got to figure out. We got to judge the information before we can agree to it, right?
We can definitely judge it by, something happens sometimes whenever you agree to something and you find out that maybe it wasn't the correct amount of information. The law handles it in different ways.
Look, Donovan, I understand your trepidation, and I share it. But the thing is, we are on a strict time limit. He has made it clear that any information he would share will be useless if he doesn't give it to us before a certain time, and that we will not get said information if we don't make this deal.
Okay.
Look,
We can accept the deal, but I don't want. I'm just worried that what's going to stop him from just going out and killing somebody again as soon as this is done.
I mean, hopefully. Okay, Logan question. Did he say he was going to lead us, or he was just going to tell us information and then bounce?
he was going to tell you information. He also said that he would help if you wanted him to. Basically, he will do what it takes to earn his immunity or earn his pardon. And one of the things that Usid would chime in and say as well, she says, we can make the deal, but at that point, we can also decide when he goes, when the information is enough. And so at that point, we will hold some of the cards.
That's fine. Then let's get in there. Let's stop wasting time.
So we can silence of the lambs it.
define what you
As
mean
long
by
as he doesn't
silence.
walk out wearing somebody else's face. I
Yeah,
don't
that's
care.
what.
Yeah.
Or you know that trope in shows and movies where like they bring on the skilled serial killer to help find another serial killer, and like he
Yep.
comes to the crime
Yeah.
scenes and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. That's essentially the offer that he's trying to make.
I mean, that happened in real life.
Oh, yeah,
Like they
I'm sure
asked
that-
Ted Bundy to help find the Green River Killer. He
Yeah.
didn't, but you know.
You know how it goes.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Then let's just play by ear and let's get in there and see what he knows.
Also, we can get a bit of his hair, fingernail, blood, whatever. Or I can have 8 hours of rest. I can scry on him anywhere. He cannot disappear.
We already have a piece of hair, if you remember correctly from last session.
Cool. I had forgotten that. There's his hair already here. Never mind. Go ahead.
Killian, you wanna get in there? I can ask the questions if you want to watch, or you can ask the questions. This is your ball field. Mm-hmm.
I would
Sorry
also
about
like.
that.
I would
That was
also like
awkward.
to be there. By the way,
In the room.
yes.
Okay. I thought you said also coming in or no?
Yes, she was gonna go in and kind of handle the initial paperwork signing and stuff like that.
Okay. So I guess she'll come and do that, and then
How big is this room? Is it gonna be too crowded if we're like, there's like 4 people standing?
yeah, that's
there?
what I was wondering.
Maybe a little. But
Okay, then I can just pop in later. That's fine.
I'll say she'll probably get up and leave once she signs everything.
Actually, I'm gonna turn and look at Oleg, and I'm gonna say, take my spot. Be the enforcer.
Sure. I don't know if enforcing what we need. I just I truly just want to know some more information. And I want to talk to him face to face about it. So.
I just know I gotta be on my best behavior, and if I go back in there, that ain't gonna happen.
That's understandable.
All right, then let's get cracking, huh?
So Yusid goes in first. You can, whoever's following behind her can, and
I'll go as well.
she taps on the glass and sort of signals for you to turn off the silencing stuff.
Can any of this time, including the time we're about to take, counted for a short rest? Or is this like too stressful?
Probably too stressful.
Alright, that's
And like, as of like now, you've only been there for about an hour, and between moving in and out, chatting, and doing whatever ritual casting, things like that, probably not.
understood.
But so turn off the silence stuff. She sits down and sort of walks him through the agreement, and essentially they come to an understanding, and he is essentially requesting immunity, but offering to help. And as part of the pardon, he says that once this is all done, or essentially when the King Citadel agrees that this is done, and that they have apprehended all the necessary people, that he will leave Breland forever. That he will not be seen ever again. And most of you will probably know that ultimately this might be just a loose agreement, a formality almost, just because there's not a huge way to enforce that. There's no telling how far this is going to go, so it's an agreement, but kind of like how Yusid said whenever, what if we agree and then kill him? Who knows what happens out there in the streets and outside the city.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So, essentially, it is immunity or a pardon in exchange for help, in exchange for information. And as part of that, one of the things that she puts in there as a clause is she mentions those crystals that Killian had told you guys were part of your contract. And she explains to him, saying, like, you will have to use this. That way we can keep in touch with you and you keep in touch with us, but it also allows us to keep track of you if we need to. So that way if we don't hear from you, we can find you in case something goes wrong. And he agrees. He pretty much agrees to whatever will get him a pardon, get him out of it. And that kind of probably starts to rub some of you the wrong way. How he's very willing to, like, yes, whatever it is, I just gotta save my own skin. I'm getting out of here. I'll do it. Yep.
Can we start asking a
Yep.
question?
Once it gets all signed, she checks it off and she leaves. She hands the paperwork off, passes off to someone, and goes back to the observation room. And before, as you go to, like, you know, get in place, start asking questions, he speaks up. Half orcs, grayish skin, says, "What time is it?" And
I know exactly
Yep.
what time it is.
It's just a hair past 8:30, just a few minutes after 8:30.
8:32.
First off, to answer your question, I was supposed to have my meeting at 9 o'clock, so you have about 20 minutes.
Great. First question. You're really just ready to tell us everything, just like that?
Well, it's not ideal, obviously, but
You have no loyalty to the people you work with, allegedly?
not particularly. That doesn't mean I don't respect or fear them. I gotta look out for myself first.
Oh, okay. Also, before this, I would have let everybody
he
know
telling
if you
the
have a
truth?
question. I would have been like, if I missed something, message me, message Cantrip, anything to me, and I will ask the question.
I message you real quick and just say, where's the meeting supposed to take place?
Yeah. Where's the meeting? Any details about that?
Yes, of course. I was meeting with my partner. We were going to be meeting at the Dragon's Eye pub for a sort of celebratory drink and dinner and things like that.
I say out loud.
Oh, you've heard of it.
Don't worry about it.
Sure. Meeting for drink and dinner, just to celebrate, and then get a good night's rest for our meeting tomorrow.
Your partner, who are we looking for? And are you expecting us to go in your place? What's the deal?
Well, I assume not to arouse suspicion, you would just kind of follow me along and observe as I go about my business, keep you informed of various plans, things like that. I feel as though if you get too knee-deep, it'll become too suspicious. You get it. But
Who are you work? Can you tell us some details about your partner, people you work for?
Well, two different. My partner, their name is Sim. Lovely person. A changeling. I known each other for a while now, and we've sort of mutually benefited from all of our proceedings and things, and so we just started working together, living together, performing together. I'm a performer, musician. Oh, right, and yes.
I'm sorry, I didn't see how that was relevant. Continue.
Oh, you just asked about who they... Okay,
Yeah, I don't care about what you do.
Oh. Okay.
I just need to know who you work for and things that... It's fine, just continue.
All right. It's very confusing. You're a journalist, right? You've done... This is your career? You've been doing this for years?
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell. So...
That's all right,
as
I
far
don't have
as...
to impress the league. Might be a bit above whatever shoehorn nonsense you perform. It's all right. Hi, Art. I know you wouldn't get it.
The person I work for is a bit of a mystery. I don't know actually where they live, but I know they're well connected. And I think you might actually know her. Ithranel Adana. Are a member and
I literally turn around and just like... Jim look from the office into... Fantastic. Continue.
That's who I work for.
What kind of correspondences you had with her? Is it just a go kill this guy, go kill this person?
Actually, yes. I'm not sure what the bigger image is, but she had the means, she had the money, she had the resources. I provided her with plenty of extra resources, and so yes, wanted me to essentially create a program of assassinations of the Dragonmarked houses. Essentially giving me the resources I need to do such a thing. And I started breaking them down into multiple movements, 3 each.
A rule of threes, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, rule of 3s. 4 movements, and she let me have my way with it.
And have you been doing all the killing at this point, or did your partner help as well?
Oh,
I'm
my
assuming.
partner helped, of course. We do everything together.
All right, interesting. And I guess it's neither here nor there, but did you just agree for this for the artistry of it, to create some kind of scary serial killer, something like that?
I mean, that's all part of it, I guess. There's just so much gravitas, and there's some certain creativity and artistry that goes into weaving all of these things together, and I just couldn't pass up the opportunity to
I get it.
make it engaging and beautiful.
Leave your mark on the city, something impressive. Surely an opportunity no other kind of performer could get, you know?
Exactly.
Interesting. So you don't know why? She just said, here's some money, here's a place. Did you create how they were done by yourself?
I did all that myself, and she would supply all the resources. She's secretive. She doesn't really let a lot of her contacts and people meet and know who each other are. I know she has other people in her employ, and honestly, I think the only reason I know that is by accident. You all kind of, surprised her one day. It was that messy ordeal with the creature made of sidewalk bits and the roaring fire out in the streets in the upper city just a couple days ago. And she arrived on the scene via Skycoach with her 2 bodyguards. That was kind of a surprise. That kind of forced her to admit who she was. She had kept it secret from us for a while. And
So wait, were you 2 the bodyguards?
Yes.
Oh, well. Would you look at that?
And he kind of tries to peer through the glass, and he says, and, Varian, don't worry. Lonnie got home safely. And you recall Ithranel sending her 2 bodyguards to escort Lonnie home.
I'm fucking glaring through the glass right now.
And you also recall one of those bodyguards only had 1 arm.
God damn it! And as soon as that, I go, I wouldn't try to talk to Varian. The kid's really scary when he puts his mind to it. Tear you apart with his mind.
I've heard. But
I
yes.
hear that, and I'm just like, Varian, can you tear him apart with your mind? Can you actually do that?
I just turn to you with like this cold old glare that like you've never seen Varian wear before, and I'm just like, I could find a way.
He's taking Dismemberment 101.
Yeah, right.
Hell yeah. I'm like, hell yeah.
I audited the class.
Takes a couple levels of sorcerer, changes, modifies twin spell, and just does twin telekinesis, grabs 1 arm, grabs 1 leg, rips in half.
Yeah. That's pretty fucking brutal.
Yes, he says that, and says, and up until then, I had only known her as, it's a very terrible pseudonym. It's good. It's not great, though. She tried going by this alias, Death Knell. We get it. Your name is Ithra Nell. That's not that clever.
a little bit on the nose.
A little bit
That's
on the
not how
nose.
I would have written it.
But whenever she saw you all, she kind of had to abandon the plan and reveal herself to us. And now, apparently she has plenty of other contacts. I've never met them, but apparently that's the sort of facade she has with many others as well. Or some
About
others.
how much time do we have?
17 minutes.
Cool.
How far is the place from this?
Via Sky Coach, only about 10 minutes.
Okay. I'm about done. I
can
don't really
pill
have anything
out.
else. I don't have any other questions yet, but I only have one more. And I will minor illusion like a 5 foot tall, or not 5 foot, like a little mini box image of like Wendelin, and I will go. You seen this? You seen this lady around?
I have not. I don't know any other contacts. Of
You
Ithril's, at
lying?
least. Make an insight check.
Not gonna be a 30 or anything, so don't get your hopes up.
I was gonna say,
18.
What were you saying, Alan?
I was gonna say that. Can I do like a sort of like blanket, like, do I believe all of this
Yes.
information?
Yes.
I saw you roll, by the way.
I need to get my dice.
And I'm gonna go ahead and head out. But I know Oleg had a question he wanted to ask, so I will trade out with Oleg.
Okay.
While,
As far as
while Killian is staring at him.
he is lying about Wendelin.
Oh, I know that, or just
Yeah. What probably Alan would too. I didn't roll great.
okay, then I'll gesture. Hey, Oleg, you can come on in. And I will just cock my head and I go, "Where'd you see her?"
Oh.
You're not dumb. I know you know.
Not in a professional capacity. I just remember her working with you all.
Anything else?
Um,
Hey, we're working together. We got to be pals now.
31.
yeah, he was lying about Wendelin. However, he's not lying when he says not necessarily in a professional capacity. However, he does add on and says, okay, so I have connections with many of the criminal organizations. I can float in and out easily. I know people in Dask, Bormar, all those guys. And I've heard some rumors. That Ithril has contacted or has made contact with a new organization. I've not really heard of them. They're able to jump from shadows to shadows, and I think your friend Wendelin used to do something like that. But that's just hearsay.
Great. My buddy Oleg wanted to ask you a question, I think.
Yes. Hey, nice to meet you. Nice to see you again. Why do you know so much about this? When did you start catching that we were on your trail?
Well, first off, this whole being honest thing, it's very difficult. Truth be told, I had no interest in you. I'd never heard of you. But apparently Ithranel had. And somehow she knew that you would get involved with Katarine Orient's death? I guess you might have known Alden and you all knew it? I don't know exactly, but that was the only stipulation. She had said Katarine Orient.
Who are the next people to die? Do you know that? How far ahead do you know?
And that's a good question. Which one specifically were you responsible for, you and your partner?
He's hesitating on this one.
and
I'm
grinning.
I'm gonna fucking throw open the door and walk through and just
Who's the next hit?
I told you, the kid's crazy.
Varian, he looks up at you and at this point, he's producing this, oh god, what is it? The partially you remember the valley for like robotics and AI, of them looking too human.
Uncanny Valley?
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley. He is this half-orc gentleman sitting at the table in these iron gloves, and when he looks up at you, there's an Uncanny Valley look in his eye. There's something very inhuman about this person. And he grins up at you.
I fucking stride over to him, grab him by his scruff, going close and say, "Who's the next hit?"
I try to run over.
You try to run over.
As soon as you run over, I want to hold my hand up to Killian and be like, "No, right now. Just wait."
And he gets an even bigger grin on his face. And Killian, with your stupid high insight rolls, you would probably naturally pick up on this. And same with Varian, because you are House Madani. This grin on his face, it's the same grin you see, like, a parent or a friend get whenever, like, their child or friend is opening a present that they were given. Like, here, I got you this for your birthday, and they open it up. He has that, like, excited grin on his face, and he looks up at you, Varian, and says, "It was you."
You had a meeting.
It's me.
It was you.
Is Varian, how are you holding him right now? Like, are you still holding him by the scruff?
Yes.
And he asked, like, turning over to, like, Killian or Donovan and says, "Could you turn off the anti-magic just for a moment? Nothing unseemly,
on.
I promise." It was on earlier.
It's off now.
Oh, okay. He turns his armor and cloak into these brown leathers. The cloak takes on an appearance with the House Madani basilisk eye, and he changes his appearance from a half-orc into a half-elf. And Varian, you recognize Gavathian de Madani, the person who came and offered you the internship.
I told you. I remember before that's when we were talking about that meeting. I was like, dude, you shouldn't go by yourself. Something about that sketches me out.
Why me?
I try to put my hand on Varian as I slowly approach this
Why?
the situation.
Me.
It's just all part of the creation, the rising action. I had to keep you all engaged. I had to make you invested in the story.
Did
This isn't
Varian?
a play. These are people's lives.
Did you take your hand off of him?
Yeah, I like.
As soon as Varian takes his hand off him, I use telekinesis to smash his head into the table.
Oof. Okay, what kind of save is that? I
I
think it's a strength save.
think it's against the spell save thing. I think so. Let's just sure.
Wait, no, he's
Got a 19.
That is my spell save. That's pretty crazy.
Got a natural 19 for a total of a 19.
I'm not using it.
And so, boom, he pushes against it, and at seeing that you sit from the other side of the window, smacks the anti-magic thing and just dissipates it all. His armor goes back to that sort of neutral studded leather, pearlescent studs, but he's still the half-elf visage of Gavathian.
When I did that, I don't look mad.
Woof.
I relight a cigarette. Well, you're lucky that you didn't get away with it, because let's just say we take care of our own.
You said in threes, so who's the one after him?
All right, now here's where I was getting a bit zealous. I was going to write in Dragon's Tower, right around the corner. It's where all that Dragonmarked houses have their enclaves, their headquarters. I was going to, this was, again, bit of a stretch, kill Merix de Cannith. Yes, Merix de Cannith, the creator of the Warforged and one of the vying barons of the house. Kill him in his own office in Dragon Towers with all the other house enclaves. That would have really stirred the pot. That would have been the real heights of it all.
How much time do we have?
7 minutes.
We gotta go.
So what's the plan next then? Like, what's this? Because we let you go, right? We need to figure out, like, what are you gonna do? Just keep on planning for the death of Varian?
Quite. We could make a good show of it and fake it. I could say you got away. We could turn it around and we could keep up the ruse for a while. But for right now, I figured you all could follow me to Dragon's Eye and observe and what have you. Of course, Ithno has eyes, ears, connections everywhere, so you may have to be a bit discreet. We can maybe come with a lie, but I think I have some drinks to go get.
Let's walk and talk as we get ready to do this. One last question. That last clue you left, something about big news or something. I don't remember exactly the word.
Yes, I was really proud of that. That the lockbox. Did you bring it?
Probably one of us has.
Yeah,
it.
I think one of you did. I don't remember who grabbed it. Says it's. You don't have to open it anymore. I guess the surprise is ruined. It's full of newspaper clippings, right? And I found specific newspaper clippings. Some of them were even written by you, Donovan. And I circled certain letters, and essentially it would lead you to Varian. Yeah.
Well, darn. So sad we missed out on that. Get to walking.
Pretty good. And you get him. He changes his guise before he leaves back to the half-orc and everything. And
we'll hook him up with that crystal.
Yep.
And I'll let you said let her get that set up.
Yep.
Because I feel like we need to have like a powwow real quick.
Yep.
Spike, did you have any other questions while we were? Because we still had technically 7 minutes while we're walking and whatnot. Did you have any other questions?
No, I just want to say I have my bike. I could just go ahead of us. And just
I think it's a matter of
scope
being.
out.
If they know us, then they would definitely know you. If that person's waiting, they might not stay if they notice one of us there earlier. I like the idea. I just don't know if we could be discreet enough to like hide if you got there before them.
You might not know me.
That's true. But I think we're better off just following behind. Maybe it'd be good to do it in smaller groups though. Like you could still take your bike, just we need to split up and not all be on the Sky Coach because I feel like it'd be a little bit
I'm
too...
taking my bike regardless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if taking my Sky Coach is. I don't know. It is somewhat conspicuous.
Could I like, like Major Image can like move and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Could you just like, can we use like a Major Image to like make a Sky Coach disguise, make it look like a
I was thinking that
bus
same
or
thing.
something?
Yeah, I'd allow
Or
that.
just a different Sky Coach.
Yeah,
love
let's
that.
do that
With
then.
Flames along the side, which I think is been established.
Maybe something a little more discreet, like a Sky Coach sedan.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I agree. Yes.
Exterminator van.
Let's do that.
Kind of like Bob's Sky Coach, which is just a minivan.
That was never established, but I'm here for it. Yeah.
Oh, you have the new Cannith Odyssey? Wow.
Yeah, it would either be that or like the equivalent of like a Fiat or something like that, or like a Kia Soul.
Oh,
All right, let's go.
No,
Let's get
So
going.
by the time he gets hooked up with the crystal to at least keep tabs on him, it'll take some time for him to actually be able to use it. You make it out of Andith Tower and begin get into your sky coach, get onto your bike, whatever means you're getting there.
On the way out, I want to keep pace with him for a moment and just try to, with nobody else listening, I'll just say, you got lucky today. If I ever see you in this city again, near me or my family, I will burn you. And I just kind of summon and firebolt in my hand for a minute and puff it away.
Sounds like a plan. And you can tell, like, actually, make an insight check, Barry. PG.
Okay. Plus that's gonna be 19.
You can tell, like, he's being forthright and being honest. He's also being very friendly with you. Like, oh, yeah, that's in the past. We signed the contract. We're friends now. And so, like, it's almost as if, like, he just canceled plans to, like, get coffee with you. Except it was to murder you. Yeah. So it's this very strange thing of, like, yeah, you don't sense any ill intentions about him, but also you don't sense any ill intentions about him after all of this.
All right.
But by the time you get to... Yes, Alan?
Can I do two things?
Maybe.
One, I want to again gauge Gavlak's mood, and also I want to see how Varian is feeling without asking him.
As far as Gavlak's mood,
I think
again,
you need a roll for that.
yeah,
one,
I would
buddy.
say probably similar to Varian. He's already moved on. He's ready to do the next thing. He's kind of preoccupied, like, thinking, like, all right, what, like, how's this gonna work out? Like, am I gonna be introducing them to people? You know, whatever, you know. But as far as Varian, I guess you would probably still see the distraught look on his face. I don't know, Varian, what would you say?
It's, I'd say, less distraught and more of kind of like a steely, icy demeanor, which you probably haven't ever seen in Varian before. Maybe for the OG squad, you would have seen something similar when we rescued Alden the Orient's kid, who was like being like kidnapped and abused by a bunch of DAS dudes. But yeah, Varian's been shaken to his core, and like he's pretty furious about it, but in kind of the cold and more muted way that Varian and would be. He's not flustered. He is focused.
Okay. I don't say anything.
Okay.
Okay, we're moving then.
So you're moving. Being a few minutes late, whoever is driving, I assume Oleg, do you want to try and punch it and get there quicker and on time?
For sure, yeah.
Well, we still don't want to be there too fast. We want to wait sure that he's there first, right?
I mean, he's the one in the car, right?
Yeah.
Are we
Yeah.
taking him?
Yeah.
Okay. Then yeah, let's make sure we do that.
So, Oleg, I assume you're proficient in flying vehicles or vehicles? Did we establish that at some point?
I think we made that a thing.
Probably by now, yes.
Okay.
So
Add that.
yeah. So if you would make a dexterity check plus your proficiency bonus.
Sure.
Alternatively, since you're an artificer, I'll let you do that with intelligence instead of dexterity, as sort of utilizing the city's infrastructure as opposed to just going quickly and dodging out of obstacles.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so you said an intelligence check with proficiency.
Yeah.
Which is basically just Arcana. That is a natural 20 for a 28.
Chewy mama.
When are we gonna get self-piloting sky coaches?
You managed to shave off several minutes of this trip. Still a few minutes behind, but not, too far. And you're able to essentially dump him off to where he can go inside. Spike, what did you do if you left a little bit early on your bike?
I just want to get out there. I wasn't gonna go into the scene or anything like that. I just want to be on the outside, taking Donovan's word and everything. Take off the cowboy hat and the bandana for once. I look like a typical Warforged or whatever. And I just want to kind of just be on the outside perimeter, just scoping the scene.
Yep. Go ahead,
He
make
still
it.
does the cowboy swagger walk.
Spurs still clicking on his heels every time.
That's just built in. That's all.
I can't
natural,
control
baby.
that. So if you'll make an insight check for me.
All right.
And I do have something I want to do while we're kind of like waiting around.
19.
Is it
8.
just-
Oh. Mhm.
Is it just our party that's here, or did some other Dark Lanterns also try and show up as well as like backup?
I don't think that would be a good idea. We're not like in the middle of like a sting operation right now.
Okay.
Spike, you watch people come and go, sky coaches fly past. At this point, it's 9 o'clock. Keeping an eye out. The Dragon Eyes pub, it's a fairly moderate-sized pub for the district. There are a few larger ones. But as you're waiting around, I guess, you would notice a sky coach fly past, and you recognize the thrum of it as Oleg's sky coach. And you look up, it's not Oleg's sky coach. It looks like a completely different sky coach, because illusions. And you see someone hop off and make their way to the front door. They just kind of nod at you. And you kind of assume it was your suspect Gavlock that was just dropped off. But in looking at the clothes, the face, the body type, not a single thing matches. They just kind of wave at you. See now, it is a human woman with a braided ponytail that goes all the way down her back. Her armor is like thick steel armor, and just kind of like nods at you, Alan.
As Gavlock is walking away, can I try and memorize their gait?
You
How
sure
they
can
walk.
try.
Can I do that with keen mind?
You can, however, you notice that the gate changes from the half-orc Gavlock you were speaking to, and this human woman that now walks proudly into the front door of this bar.
Is there anything consistent about his demeanor, no matter the form, or is he just an artist through and through? It's always different.
You can make an insight check, see?
Killian is...
Nope. That's a nat 1. I don't know shit.
Can I try?
You sure can't try?
Go for it, Mr. 30 Insight.
Um, 28.
It's not a 30, Alan.
That is enough. The only thing that you have found consistent between the 2 or 3 forms you've seen is that he habitually whistles. Whenever he's not talking, he's whistling or humming slightly to himself. As far as something physical, though, the way he moves or anything, not really.
Okay.
Nice.
So he walks in, or she walks in now. And what do you guys do in the meantime? Spike, you're sitting outside. Eventually, probably your friends can message and make themselves known.
Yeah, I will establish contact with message with Spike just so something crazy happens, we can figure it out. But I guess we're just like sitting in the sky coach.
You can go sit on some benches nearby, go to a neighboring bar, do whatever.
Okay. Is the understanding that Gavilar is gonna reconnect with us afterward?
I
Yes,
assume that's
and
what it was.
on the way, I meant to say this. He mentions that he'll meet with his partner Sim. They'll sit and chat, have dinner, drinks. They live in an apartment up above Dragon's Eye Pub, and so what they'll do is once they retire for the evening, he makes mention of which window is his. He will flicker a light a few times, and you can come up and meet with them.
Okay.
Okay. Well, is he telling Sim what happened?
Yeah.
So he's basically being like, okay, cool, we're all gonna turn on Ithranel.
He said they do everything together.
Huh. Okay.
Wait, so they're just mercenaries. Basically, what we got out of it was that they're
Assassins. Yeah.
formal assassins, right?
Theoretically.
Yeah.
Alan.
Can I
Answer your phone.
sorry. I sync my iPhone and iPad, so now my iPad calls me.
You call yourself?
Can I fly? Well, how does? Okay, can I use my hat of disguise to change my clothing to a bluish hue,
Sure.
like a sky bluish hue?
Sure.
And then can I fly out of the sky coach and just kind of like circle around the building, just kind of monitoring like?
Well,
the
it's also
kids that's
nighttime,
in-
so you wouldn't have to do that.
Oh, okay. Can I still?
Monitor the building?
Yeah,
Yes, you can do that.
with like a dark sky blue hue.
Yup, totally.
All right.
Travis.
While Gillian's out of the sky coach,
Oh no.
um,
Are you gonna move it to another parking spot and freak him out when he comes back?
no, I'm gonna turn to the other one, the other people, and I'll say, when are we killing them?
I think it's just you, Donovan, and Varian now.
That's fine. I will look. I will. And I'll say that to y'all too.
We got to figure that out another time.
No, it's a good time to talk about that now. Gillian will never get off our fucking side, unless I kill him too, and that's not something I want to do. He's kind
Listen,
of okay.
I don't. We can't worry about that right now. We got to worry about the fact that this very important person just tried to kill our friend.
This is the point. All right, so are we waiting?
Wasn't she the one that was like hanging out with your dad, or like your uncle
Yes.
at the
My
party?
uncle?
I'm
No.
trying to remember who's who.
We met her. She was the witness that I let go at the play.
She's not the
whole thing.
person we stole that Spike stole the Sunblade from, right?
No.
No. That's
But
No,
she
that's what-
definitely knows about it.
Allegedly.
Allegedly stole.
I don't care about the Sunblade.
no. She was the one of the subjects, the possibility at the play. That's the only time I believe we've seen her.
I wasn't there for that, so.
Okay.
Oh,
Remind me. I had a meeting to meet with Gavathon de Madani. Did I have a planned meeting with Ithradana Donna, or am I remembering that wrong?
Nope.
Okay.
did we have another time of seeing her? I don't remember actually.
I mean, we saw her at the play. We saw her at the golem and the fire elemental incident where she invited us to the Arum thing, and then we saw her again at the vampire lady's house.
And wasn't she like she was like, it was like one of your relatives. She was like hanging around, right?
Yeah, my uncle.
And she like you had that like she like left, and that's when I said the first time thing, right? That was her, because she was like hanging out with you.
Yeah, I think that was it.
Sorry, that's the worst way to describe that, but I'm just trying to make sure that's the person I'm thinking of.
Okay, so are we? My point is, are we using them because they don't? Yes, they're psychopathic, but honestly, they seem
We
to
can't
be
kill them
just-
right now. If
yeah,
I'm not even saying I want to, but we can't right now because if they disappeared, they're not going to report to her. She's going to know something's up.
That's fine. We can go kill her. I don't know what you want from me. This is a very easy solution. I'm just asking when.
Okay, I'm thinking. Oleg. In time.
In time. So what's the plan? You want to just let them be?
I'm for now. Okay, I'm thinking about this. If Nelagona is a powerful woman, and really all we have is the word of a skilled but common cutthroat.
Yes. They'll just say that he's lying.
Precisely.
And our word, no matter as how important you guys are, our word's not going to be worth much in comparison.
I don't
Okay.
really.
Here's what I'm
care.
thinking. The next stage of the plan goes off without a hitch. I die. And then we have a leg up. The first time we will be a step ahead instead.
So you're thinking we let them go through with the possibly trying to plan out the murder of the person?
No. Not with the death of Magnus to Kenneth. But with my death. We stage it somehow.
We don't have to stage it. You could actually die. I have Revivify.
There's like feigned death and things like that. We don't actually have to kill him.
I don't know. It might be a good experience just once. How much of a thrill would that be? How often do you get to feel the thrill of death without actually dying?
We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on from that. That's for a smart person.
Oleg,
You sure
you-
are dumb sometimes.
You're hitting me with a lot of energy that I really can't handle right now.
Yeah. Before we figure the rest of this out, like, are you okay? It's not every day that someone says, "Hey, I was gonna kill you," and looks so smug about it.
I'm mad at myself. I should have seen something like this coming.
Hey, kid, you can see the future, but that doesn't mean you can see everything. Don't get too worked up about what you don't know.
Her attention to me, it was weird. I should have seen that. But like, I'm honestly more glad that it was me than anyone else in my family. At least I know I have a decent chance of fighting back. Son of a bitch.
I opened my box of, like, my case of cigarettes and I handed one. Dude, it helps. In the long term. Not in the short term, not the long term. Oh, that was a big drag for your first time, buddy. I admire the spirit.
Wait, so
Everybody you see takes the big drag. I thought that's what you did. Fuck
I have
it.
fire.
All right.
I have fire resistance spell. That shit doesn't bother me.
I clearly don't. Okay. She's the mastermind behind all of this. She's clearly calculating and supremely arrogant. I mean, based on what he said, she had to pivot, but she handled it masterfully, and she continued to interact with us, with me, all the while maintaining the front. think if we play this carefully and she has no reason to believe that the plan has gone off the rails, she will be carried forward by her hubris, and that's the chance we have to catch her in this somehow. There needs to be proof beyond a doubt. Otherwise, this just becomes a protracted battle of he said, she said, and at the end of the day, even though Oleg and I are from Dragonmark families, our word's not gonna go as far as hers.
Whenever we get they're done with their meeting and we meet with them later, maybe we can get some kind of how they were contacting each other, because if we got to get it in paper or ink or a voice recording or something, because otherwise, like you said, we're not going to be able to get anything to stick. But she's so careful. I don't know what we could do, even if you fake your own death, what we could do to get her to make a mistake.
What's her end game in all of this? He didn't tell us what her end game was, did he?
I don't think he knows.
Okay, yeah, that's what
He's
I thought.
just from what we heard, yeah, he was just an assassin. He
Who
made
did
it
she
a
go
little bit
see?
more colorful.
Where did we see her? Whose house was it that the Sunblade? I'm trying to remember what that other person's name was.
Didn't I get her number? I got the
No,
number
she
of
threw us out of her house because
I got
Donovan
the
tried to
number
read her
of a
mind.
different vampire.
It was in Kina Button's apartment.
Button.
You got
That's
I
the
feel like you got the contact info of the handsome vampire with warforged alcohol.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the thing is, Kina Button definitely knows what's going on as well, because Kina Button I'm sure that she was promised something to like benefit the vampire community or something like that in Little Barovia, and that's why she's going along with it.
Is Ithranel Adana from a dragon-marked house?
Not that you recall. She at least doesn't have a Dragonmark name or a prefix or
Yeah,
anything.
she doesn't have
You know, the Dadanas.
She's married to Roman Maduni.
Oh, Christ already. Roman Dibadani ends up being the real bad guy. I'm setting my
No,
PC
it's gonna be
on
that
fire.
fish
Roman
lifeguard.
de Medina.
Medina.
Eternel de Medina Dadane.
They
A
hyphenated
little
name.
old lady from Pasadena.
So what did I miss?
There's
Don't worry
chatting.
about it.
Yeah, we're just musing on what our next steps are.
Okay.
But we gotta keep thinking about it. Between all of us, maybe we can come up with something that's gonna make her mess up and make a mistake. But she's been so careful so far, and I don't know. It's frustrating because now we finally know who's been doing this stuff, but we're not any closer to figuring out how to catch her.
So,
Let's wait and see what
I will say,
Changeling has to say.
she said that she's been hiring criminal organizations to help her. If we can figure out how she goes about contacting these like outside helpers, then there may be a chance we could get an inside man in there and get some kind of recording or something. But I'm just musing.
So, taking the time, waiting. Spike, is there anything else you want to do besides standing watch and loitering outside the bar?
I kind of just want to I want to just keep like a low profile, but one thing I want to do, hearing about Riverland's group moving in between the shadows, is there like a shadowy area?
Plenty.
I wonder. I wanna stick close to those. Keep an eye out for those, just in case anyone unexpected pops up.
Is there any shops in the immediate vicinity? While we're just macing around.
Yeah.
Is there any shops that sell expensive incense?
Yeah, probably.
So I'm gonna hop out while we're waiting, and I'm gonna go buy 250 gold worth of incense.
Works.
And I'm gonna come back, and while we're waiting, if we have time, I'd like to cast Legend Lore on Ithernel Adonis. Just to know anything secret lore, legends about her.
Okay.
And she's a public figure. It says legendary, but she's like a public figure.
Yeah.
So I figured that's like kind of not like
Equivalent.
legendary, but like that's
Yeah.
important enough for there to be stories or things that maybe she like secrets she doesn't want people to know about.
Okay. I'll need to brainstorm on that, so we'll probably take a break here in a second. I'll jot something down.
This fight's about toilet cat time.
Yep, it is about toilet cat time. But we'll end on a very interesting point. So you guys sit and muse, you sit and talk. Spike, you keep watch. You find a little shadowy outcropping along the road near an alleyway, and you kind of mingle around over there a little bit. Killian circling overhead, keeping watch. You spend several minutes musing. Donovan, you go shopping for a little bit. You come back, and you get ready to cast the spell. Spike, you feel a cold breeze kind of whoosh past you, and you quickly glance over your shoulder, and you see emerging from the alleyway a almost like feline-looking shifter that you recognize as Stripe from a few days before that she and Wendelin had made their journey across the city during the attack on High Walls. You see Stripe and a human man emerge from the alleyway, wearing fairly dark clothes, but nothing too conspicuous, and make their way out having small talk, but you are fairly certain they were not there moments before, and so they must have done a shadow jaunt across the city and ended up here. And before we proceed and we do Legend Lore and you do that scene, we'll take a quick break, do some Toilet Cat stuff. I'll probably leave the poll open until the end of our little break, and then we can figure out what fun one-shot we're going to be doing in the future. I'm very excited. But for now, we're going to go take a quick Toilet Cat break, and we'll be right back. There we go. Had to wait for the song to be right there. Anyway, so we're back. I'm going to end the poll, and we'll see who the winner is. Poll close. It looks as though Mecha Hack won with 3 votes.
Hell yeah.
So we will start putting together a group. We'll start figuring out what mechs we're going to play in the pilot. Oh, man, I'm pumped. It's going to be so much fun.
Wait, are we playing the
Another-
people piloting the mechs or the mechs?
I think it's both.
Yes.
Because I think you and your mech have different stats, and so it's like you control your mech, and it's like an extension of you, but for certain things you use your own stats. Yeah,
This is going to be like Titanfall, the
yeah,
game.
basically. So we'll get working on that. Oh, I'm pumped
Every
now.
pre-fight, we only control the mech, which is ultimately controlled by an NPC.
Rip. So, sitting in the Sky Coach, doing Legend Lore Spike, you see Stripe doing just popping up in the Dragonized District, having some small talk conversation about what club they're going to be going to that evening. And Spike, will start with you.
Since Donovan messaged me, am I able to message him back or no?
Not really, no.
Okay. Okay. So I'm
I
just
think
going
you
to
can
do this.
respond to the initial message. but-
The thing that I meant to say when we were doing this is that, like, if you see something and need to get our attention, do this thing, like send this kind of signal, and we'll be watching. Because I assume we were kind of watching. We're like in the same proximity as Spike, just different places. So I would have been like, say this thing or make this noise or something. I don't know.
I'll just cast Mage Hand in front of your face and be like,
And I look.
and then the Mage Hand like points over.
And you see, and probably all of you would see, this hand and points toward two darkly dressed individuals. One is a striped, like feline-esque shifter, and one is a human man with dark, like raven black hair. And they're just walking down the street, but you recognize the shifter as Stripe, who you met in Little Barovia.
I'll message Spike and say, that's that one shifter was with the Wendlin, right?
Yep, that's
You
the
can't
one.
respond to this message. Message again. Do we risk causing a scene to try to ask where Wendlin is, or what do you think the play here is? I say aloud and message.
Well, he also has a friend. Not sure if that's the same guy from that night, but we haven't seen Wendland in a few days. This is the first and only lead that we got.
Message back. I trust your judgment. If you're gonna do something, do it. Just be careful.
Okay. So, with my cowboy attire
no.
gone,
Oh.
I will.
I guess all of us, this guys, we're just like watching.
You're
with bated
watching.
breath, like just leaning, like.
Yeah, you say, I trust your judgment, then immediately like, oh wait. Hold on.
Well, I do. It's just I'm gonna watch anyway. Like.
So where are they at right now?
They're just walking down the street, looking at the different bars and clubs,
Making
making my way, trying to figure out where they're going to go spend their evening.
Baba Booey. Sorry, Stephen Lemon demanded it.
I'm just trying to figure out the best way to do this, and if it's even really worth doing it. I'm gonna roll a d20. Just kind of. That's a 3. Spike's going for it. Okay, cool.
no.
Oh, baby. All right. So with my cowboy attire off and just looking basic, I'm going to stand really proper and tall, casually walk over and be like, hello. Can I be of assistance to you today? It looks like you are wandering around looking for a place to dine. May I interest you in this location?
You see that Stripe speaks up. She says, no, I think we're okay. We're gonna be... Is this new? You work for this restaurant?
I sure do. Today's my first day on the job. So happy birthday to me.
I look at Varian for like up and like.
I don't know what's going on right now, but this is probably going to be hilarious.
Well, congrats, but no, we know just the place we're going to. We were just, looking at some of these new places. These changeling neighborhoods, they're always changing their themes and their style, so we just wanted to come see what was up, but we're heading down to Chance, the gambling hall.
Chance, the gambling hall. All right. Well, while this restaurant does not offer gambling or things of that sort, we do offer fine things like our luxurious steak and potatoes.
That's great. Do you have drink specials tonight?
He's like yes, we have our signature drink, a martini.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Now, I know you're new. You may not know the menu off the top of your head or anything. So we already ate dinner earlier, but do you have like desserts, appetizers, like small things, little snacks?
Yes, we have a hot chocolate lava cake.
Oh. Is that it?
I can assure you, it is divine. If you take this, he goes, if you come with me, we are doing a special offer tonight. And since you are my first person that I have approached, you will get a meal for free.
And a martini.
And a hot chocolate lava cake.
Hot chocolate martini.
Yeah. Oh, are there olives in this? Oh.
It's part of our new program to help promote more Warforged workers.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's great. That's awesome. Let's stop it. Lead the way. Yep.
All right.
As they're
I will lead the
walking
way.
away, I want to message Spike and be like, "Do you need any help? Are you good?"
I quickly turn my head to you for a second. I'm like, my eyes are wide.
Did you say please?
I just mouth it. I'm like, please.
All right.
Except you're Warforged, so it just looks like.
We could not exactly just have him. I don't know. We could probably just go over there and actually talk to them.
They're meeting inside, but if we're in disguise, it should be fine. Do either of you have a way to disguise yourself?
Fuck no, I'm Oleg.
Fuck no, I'm Oleg.
All right, I'll go.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I'm still in the
blow.
air, right?
Yeah. And so you would probably see them start dismounting from the sky coach and going inside.
I take a drag,
Ooh, they're on the move.
blow a plume of smoke as it wraps around and changes my form into a Warforged waiter-looking person.
Mm-hmm.
And I will make my way into the bar as well.
I'll snap my fingers and in a swirling miasma of greenish arcane energy, I'll disguise self as I don't know, a tall blonde high elf with straight slicked back hair and bright blue eyes, and just kind of a nice going out suit, and I'll step out.
And yes, Killian, you would see them disembarking. And Donovan, from your legend lore, so Ithranil is a public figure. However, and as far as you know, you essentially can glean what people who know her know. What is public knowledge about this public figure, which isn't much. Even though she is a popular person, and you recall, she was invited to the Tane Gala just a few months ago, which is the highest tier party. It's a monthly ball that is anyone who's anyone will get an invite to it. And after she got inducted into the Aurum, effectively from nowhere. She got invited to the Tain Gala, again, effectively from nowhere. She, as far as anyone knows, she was not born in Sharn. No one knows where she lives in Sharn. She is just this, bright, beautiful, amazing personality that everyone loves to be around. But that's it. The only thing, and I don't know if Varian would have mentioned this, but I'll leave that up to Carson. But whenever she had told you that she was, poor, she came from nothing. She lived on the streets and stuff like that. And so because she kind of confessed she doesn't belong with these people. She's not, rich or anything. But
There's some motive.
But that was, that's the only inkling of who she is, where she's from. Otherwise, she's just this amazing person that everyone loves. She's so nice and hardworking and, such a people person. And as far as you know, as being especially a journalist, people have written articles about her, involving with the Aurum, the Tain Gala, being sort of this pseudo-philanthropist in a way. But it's just a lot of talk, almost. So, that's what you get from the legend lore. But you make your way following Spike inside. Oleg, you're going to keep watch out at the Sky Coach. And Killian, what are you going to do? Keep watch overhead still?
Yeah.
Okay.
No one has attuned to their communicrystals.
Correct.
Nope.
Fuck.
Would we not have had the time?
Nope.
Didn't want to either.
So I'm just a bear.
All right then. This will clearly not bite us in the ass.
Killian will keep flying in circles.
Just every 5 minutes pulls out his crystal and it's like, come in. Come in.
Some random trucker coming by goes, yeah.
Hey, what's up?
You ever had like a radio as a kid and accidentally been on the same frequency as like truckers?
No.
That never happened to
No.
anybody else?
No.
No.
Did you talk to truckers?
No, because they were like, get off this channel. This is for adults. And we were like, haha, pee pee poo poo. And they were like, fuck you, kid.
Uh-huh. Yeah. The universal experience. So
Yeah,
the
that's
three
what
of you
Kevin's doing.
follow inside. Okay. All right. So
Okay, was
yes.
this shifter one? This was a monk friend. This wasn't one of the people we played Rajak with,
correct?
was it?
It was a monk friend.
Okay.
This
So
is the person that showed up to tell us that to tell when
Yeah, she was the
attack
messenger.
was happening.
Cool.
Spike, you lead this human man and Stripe inside to the bar, the Dragon's Eye pub. You show them to a table and do the whole routine.
Yeah, I make sure that I show them to a table that's like far to the corner, that's just like a little far away from everyone else. I'm like, ah, yes, this table over here in the shadows.
So Xavier, I need you to make
I can
either.
act it out.
I would say I need you to make either a deception or performance check. It's not necessarily for them. It's
Okay.
for like the regulars and the other employees.
I can do that. All right. So that's going to be an 18. I got a +4 for deception and for performance. So.
Okay.
This dude's
Oh.
been working here for years.
I know another waiter when I see one. You're all right by me.
So you, as you're
General
leading,
manager doesn't interact with him for fear because he can't remember
Remember
the
the
last
name.
time he gave him the paycheck.
yeah, maybe he'll just keep showing up and
So
working.
he's just avoiding.
So you go sit them down. You take their order, like all that kind of good stuff. Now, I guess here's my question to you. What do you do when you take their order? Do you find the kitchen and wander around and do that, or do you just kind of like walk out of the bar for a little bit?
Oh no, I just like walk out of the bar because at this point I walk out of the bar and I try to meet up with everyone else that's coming in.
Okay.
I'll send a message to Spike when I see him to let him know that this is us. This is what we look like.
So we'll say for a brief moment you can regroup outside, get a lay of each other, like, okay, so you look like this, you look like this. All right, this is the ploy, kind of.
What are we doing? What are we gonna?
What's your plan here?
We need to figure out what's going on with Winland. How can we, we need to make sure, one, if she's okay, and two, well, we need to figure out, their connection with all of this. But we gotta not make a big scene. So, right now they think that they're about to get a hot lava cake. I made it up. I really did. I don't know what they even serve here. And a martini. That's what they want. That's what they think. They're none the wiser. They're none the wiser. All right. So they shouldn't be. Their defenses shouldn't be up. All right. We're just gonna go in there, ask them a few questions. It doesn't have to get hostile, but it can get hostile if we need to. But it doesn't have to get hostile. All right.
What if we? I can do some magic and suggest that they go outside for a bit or something. The thing is,
enchantment magic is likely to be risky now. If either of them are able to resist it, that causes a scene, that draws attention to us. That's precisely what we don't want right now.
well, there's nothing we're gonna be able to do that's like 0% risk.
So I'm aware of that, but look, if we can get them alone somewhere, suggest a way. All I'm saying is what level are we lying? Are we being right out that we're Wendellin's friends and we're worried about her, or does one of us pretend to like remember this person from a crazy night out and ask as how the other woman who was with them that night is doing, and what level are we engaging with him?
I kind of like that idea about y'all being Winland's friends, and you're just like, I don't know. I kind of like that. I haven't seen her in a while. I mean, you're trying to figure out like your motive, right? Like how do you get in character for this scene? Okay.
A little bit, yeah.
I think you guys have been listening to that psychopath that we're working with a little too much. This seems a little weird.
Well, Donovan, do you have any bright ideas?
No.
All right then. So, this is what we're gonna do. I like your variant. I really like your idea. We're friends of Winland. All right, we're friends of her. We haven't seen her in a long time. We're trying to get in touch with her. Last time we saw her, she was with Stripe. Disappeared.
Okay, very good. We are friends with You're their waiter. Are you also gonna be friends with Wendelin and their waiter?
No. You see, this is what I'm gonna do, and I take out the cowboy hat, just the cowboy hat, and not the bandana. And I'm like, see, now I'm not Spike. I'm just a cowboy warforged. See how that change it up a little bit? Or you know what I can do? Take off the cowboy hat, put the bandana, like wrap it around my head. I could be a pirate.
Okay.
We're losing it. We're going a little too far. We're going out of range. I will continue being their waiter.
Logan, question.
Yes.
What level of disguise would this be, like seeing Zoe Deschanel without bangs, where you're like, were you? Or is this just like
blatantly obvious.
She doesn't look that different without bangs, and she's obviously still Zoe Deschanel.
I mean, once you give it a minute to like focus, then you're like, yeah. But at first glance, you're just like, I don't know this woman.
Are you wearing the same trench coat, Spike? Or did you take that off
No,
too?
I
and follow it
took
up?
that off too. Yeah.
So probably with like just the cowboy hat, it wouldn't give you away to be like, oh, that's just Spike without his
That's
other
Spike's
stuff.
summer uniform.
Yeah, but if they got a whiff of like you guys being there, it would probably start to give you away. But if they have no idea that any of you might be there, they probably wouldn't think much of it. So there's that. At that moment, as Spike, you're out there talking, you hear, excuse me, sir, do you work here? And Spike, you feel a light hand on your arm, and you turn around and see this effectively, like, Jessica Rabbit woman, wearing a slightly glittery red dress, beautiful ginger hair tumbling down her back, made-up face, sharp features, maybe even half-elven. They are so almost gentle and slanted and pointed features. And next to her is a Warforged that stands probably a foot taller than you, with these shiny steel plates in this glorious-looking suit and fedora slightly tipped down. And she's reaching out to you and says, sorry, I saw you walk that other couple in early. Do you work here? You said something about drink martini special tonight? And all of you, but probably Spike as being the pointed out in this, they are not from this portion of the city. This is like upper city people who are visiting this portion of the city. They stick out like sore thumbs.
Next time on, Spike gets a new job.
I got it.
And then they look at the other two and say, oh, was he helping you? We're so sorry.
I look at Spike for a moment, seeing if he's gonna say something before I do.
Chops.
I'm going to. Oh wait, are you gonna say something, Mary?
If you don't, I'm gonna say something. But if you got something, go for it.
Oh no, I kind of want to hear what you gotta say.
Oh God.
I'm just. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. Yeah, he just went on break. I'm sure there'd be somebody else willing to help you.
Jokar, is that you?
Well, you see that she, like, leans forward and looks at you. Garameus, is that you?
No. Do I have a doppelganger running around town?
You might in this part of the city, maybe. Are you really? And she reaches out and, like, probably inappropriately reaches out to, like, touch her face as if it were an illusion. Oh, so you're really not... And immediately, red face. I'm so sorry. I thought you were just...
Oh, no,
I thought this was a
it's
gag.
fine. I suppose I just have one of those faces.
And then this Warforged standing next to her, like, steps up, towering over all of you. Says, is this place good or not? Do you have a martini special, or was that just a rumor?
It's just a rumor, man. Hey, listen, they don't pay me enough to really lie to you, so just go somewhere else.
Fine. Where can we get drinks around here? And she, like, smacks one, just like, stop. Where can we get drinks around here?
Okay. What's within eyesight?
You just point out some place like that one.
The mixed
Hot
Sharns.
dog stand.
Mixed Sharns.
Yeah, there you go. They got a great special.
Yeah, they're gonna. There's nothing quite like going out on a nice night out to a different part of the city to go get drunk at a chain restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
McAdoo's down the road. So you pawn them off onto some local little dirty bar. It takes a little bit of convincing. Her big brutish Warforged boyfriend is just like, that place looks like shit. Be nice. We don't get to visit this place. It looks like shit. And it's bad vibes.
Is this a bad relationship?
Make an insight check.
If you gotta make an insight check, is it? Yes.
Yeah, that's gonna be 14 plus 8, 22.
He seems to just be in a bad mood.
Okay.
They've been out for too long. He's tired. Even though you know that Warforged don't really get tired. He's just ready to not be in this part of the city.
Let's just pick a place.
You'll just pick up. We've been talking about this for 3 hours. Our dinner plans were at 6. It's now almost 10 o'clock. I don't know what you want.
I guarantee the difference between any of these individual places will not matter.
They're changelings. We can just ask them to do something different, and they will. I don't understand what the problem is. But eventually, you pawn them away. And then some other random dude comes up to use Spike. Looks like some dwarf with just a really long mustache is like, wait, you work here?
Dude, I just said I'm on my break.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Well, could you answer a question real fast?
Can you pay me my hourly rate? No? Okay then.
You don't want my service at all?
I don't own the restaurant. I don't care if you eat here or not.
Man, maybe one night we'll just do an entire session where we all play like minimum wage workers who get to yell at problem customers and just get vented out.
Oh,
This is like therapeutic. I'm like,
Yeah, like,
okay,
right?
yeah.
You fucking idiot.
How about you go and fuck yourself?
He smooths down his mustache and is like, okay. And he dumbfounded walks away. And you have a moment now to yourself.
Okay, so yeah, let's just pretend we're Wendellyn's friends. Me and Varian we're out in the town. We're drinking. We recognized that Stripe's been with Wendellyn before. We're like, hey, we haven't seen Wendellyn in a while. What's she up to? That's normal, right?
You're
No
all
magic
still
involved.
Friends, you're all still friends to Wendellyn.
We don't know Stripe all that well. We just know Stripe is presenting as female.
Yes.
Okay, cool. We don't know her all that well. We just know she's friends with Wendellyn and want to know about her welfare. That sound good?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
So you all walk in. So the Dragon's Eye pub, it has an unfortunate vibe that's akin to, like, I don't know, Applebee's and Chili's. There's a bunch of random trinkets and stuff pinned up on the walls in frames, hung up on little stands. It's not as well put together as many of the other changeling bars and clubs that are in the Dragon Eyes district. A lot of them are themed, and they have these big theme weeks every week, and they change their appearances. This place, not so much. It's a little on the rougher side. It's just the closest one to the edge of the district, so it's kind of a first stop, depending on where you're going. And so you walk in, it's still packed with people. They're here to get some food and drinks, things like that. Spike, you are surprised to see a chocolate cake be carried across the room that has some melted chocolate drenched over, and you're like, oh. But Travis, there's something...
Yo, no lie, one of the best desserts in the world.
It is. It's really
Yeah.
good.
Okay, in this moment, is Spike like, cool, I guessed that right, or like that was fortuitous, or does he begin to question if he somehow willed this into being?
Oh, no, Spike.
I'm just like, did I work here in a past?
Am I a changeling?
I imagine that Spike sort of has that past of like his first 6 months after the war, he didn't know what to do and just worked for a week at like every place in Sharn. And so he worked here for like a week and forgot. So you see that, you spot from across the room the long hair braided woman with the steel-plated armor, who you formerly knew as the half-orc Gavlock, sitting there across the table from a one-armed Warforged, sitting having conversation. A Warforged, it seems, mostly made up of like mismatched, miscolored wood.
I did not realize we were in the same place as this. We gotta be more careful.
Do you want to be somewhere else? I assumed it was back at the place you were staying outside of. Spike, I guess.
I mean, we're already here. We don't really have much of a choice.
Is this where Spike took them?
I thought so, but unless you had different intentions, Xavier.
I wasn't expecting to like put them in like the exact same area.
Well, I didn't.
Like,
I knew that
eating
not the same
food.
area, but like the same bar.
Yeah, we could say it's the same bar, just because like we got it. It's all gonna happen here anyway. So
Okay, making sure.
we're just trying to get we're just trying to get some information. doesn't
That's
gotta
it.
doesn't gotta be hostile, all right? But it can be.
But it can be. So you set them up. You see across on the other side of the room, formerly Gavlock and this one-armed wooden Warforged. And then in the far corner, Stripe and this dark-haired human man. And now in the light, he has sort of those very classic, like, Herculean chiseled features. Wide chin, boxy jaw, dimple right in the center of the chin. But fairly lithe, tall individual sitting there. And it's fairly well packed in here. Of course, it is a changeling-run bar, but they are all in various guises, various personalities at the moment. So you make your way in. The room is yours.
As we make our way over there, all right, Varian, follow my lead. All right, so friends of Wendolin, we're gonna come off real unassuming, maybe a little drunk, you know, like to loosen their, like, let their guard down so they're not as weird about us asking about Wendolin.
You're surprised to see Stripe. You pause for a moment to try to remember the name, and then it comes to you.
I wasn't even gonna go that far. Like, we don't know Stripe's name because that might be a secret thing.
That's entirely fair. Let's go with that.
So I walk over. I say, follow my lead, and I put my arm like up around Varian's shoulder.
Cool. And
I
I've
like-
like pretty closely matched the illusion to my actual proportions. So
I kind of like walk that way, and I'm like laughing really loud, like and as soon as we get close, I tug on Varian's shoulder. I go, oh, hold on a second, and I walk over and I kind of like lean on the table like I'm a little too drunk, and I start snapping my fingers and pointing at Stripe. I'm like, I think I know you. You're a friend of Wendolin, right?
yeah, yes, I recognize her as well. Yeah, Wendolin's friend, right?
Wendolin who?
Oh, come on. Wendolin got the bushy hair real fast. She's one of my drinking buddies. Hadn't seen her around in a while.
You must have me confused. Maybe you fancy sporting events? See me on the Rajak field or see someone that looks like me?
Nah. I got one of them keen minds. I know who I see.
He never forgets the face.
No,
Never
I
forgets
know.
the face.
I got the mind.
And minor illusion isn't concentration, right?
I do not know.
No.
I don't believe so.
Okay, cool.
and I minor illusion and like I'll say like a slightly distorted remembering of Wendellin's face.
Nose is a little too big, eyes a little too far apart.
Yeah, she
Eyes like this.
yeah, something like this.
Yeah.
She looks at it and then looks up at the two of you. And if one of you wants to with advantage, or you can roll separately, I'll leave that up to you to make a deception check for me.
I will
allow
give you advantage.
Making my way. 28.
She looks up at the two of you. Says, that's her. I haven't seen her in a few days as well.
You haven't?
No?
Oh, neither have we. We've been kind of worried about her. I mean, I know she was doing something with some agency.
Some weird shit.
Yeah, she didn't talk a whole lot about it. And speaking of shit, last time we saw her, she was having some intestinal problems. No, she's okay.
I don't know about that. I feel like
you know, Edelin.
I think she may have gotten some new part-time gigs or something. May have freelance work. I don't really know. She never talked about that kind of thing. So,
Well, as long as she's okay.
as far as I know, yeah.
Do I believe that?
Make an insight check.
Can I also make an insight
You
check?
can.
Cool.
Dirty 20.
Like 13.
Donovan is lying. She is basically everything that she has said has been very protective and trying to keep back information and hold back.
Okay, I'm gonna let Xavier do the thing that he's ready to do. Go for it.
While they're doing this, can I put their order back to the kitchen?
Absolutely.
The people in the kitchen are like, who are you?
Yeah, and like you're able to slink around enough. You grab a little notepad, you jot down an order, clip it to the kitchen, and like it almost takes care of itself. And they're in the rush of work, so like pretty easy.
Yeah. Sweet. That's all I want to do.
Man, Spike's gonna come out of this with a new job, a part-time job. So yes, you do that. Anything else, Spike?
Not right now. I see that the conversation is just flowing, so I don't want to interrupt it.
I'm pretty much done talking because it's like I'm gonna very try to like subtly message Varian like with some weird gesture to like point at him, but I'm like falling over kind of drunk, and I'll point at him and say, I don't think we're gonna get anything else unless we press further, and I'm not sure how safe that'll be.
I agree.
We know Wendellin's alive at least.
Well, if you do see her, I don't know. You were asking after her. I mean, it's been a while since we've been able to, just come out to the bars and really let loose. We've missed it.
It's a luxury. Can I get a name to pass on?
Oh, she'll know.
I don't think so. I say two people at a
fine,
bar.
It's fine. I'm Adrian.
That's fine. That's fine.
She'll know.
She'll know.
If
if you say the name Adrian to her and she doesn't remember me, I'm gonna be so insulted.
Flash forward. Who the
Yeah.
fuck is Adrian?
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And like Stripe gets uncomfortable, like I don't know.
I don't know. It's just this guy. What do you want from me? Poor Stripe. Yep.
Yes, but I hope we haven't interrupted your evening. But
It's just getting
enjoy.
started. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
I've heard this place
Can
has
I-
great specials.
Can I do detect thoughts?
If you want to.
I'm not gonna push further. I just want to hear surface level thoughts.
Sure. Surface level thoughts. Both of them, both the people that you're focusing on, at least Stripe at the very least, is really trying to cut this conversation down. She says, or she's sitting there thinking, I've never seen these people. I don't know how they know Wendell. They need to leave. We can't keep this up. And it essentially just trying to think of ways like, maybe we can, suddenly leave. I have to go to the bathroom. I don't know.
What's the other guy thinking?
Pretty much the same things. He starts wondering, like, how do they know Stripe? What's going on here? How do they recognize? Are we that recognizable? I mean, I really like the dark clothes look. Kind of complements my hair and eyes, but so he's thinking a bit more like meta about their situation, about just like, what are we doing wrong?
A common theme I'm noticing with the Order of the Alley is that they're amazing at stealth. They can't lie.
No, they're not great liars. They're just good at staying out of the spotlight. And then once they're in the spotlight, they're done so.
Someone, I want to push further,
You do?
but I'm trying to decide if it's worth it.
I'm gonna go toilet cat, you decide, and you can chat with people and find out.
I'm also gonna run to the restroom. You think on this?
I'm probably going to. I don't know if this is like mad if I talk about. I'm gonna come back with the desserts. Like if you, I'm gonna come back with the desserts just to like check on, see how things are going.
Are you gonna pay for their meal?
You don't pay for the meal until after the end. I just sat them, all right. I don't have to pay for this.
No, you said that they had a free meal.
Who? I put my cowboy hat back on. Who said that? No, not me. Certainly not.
No.
I'm gonna do it.
I just kind of want to. My thing is just like I just kind of want to figure out what happened to Windland.
I want to figure that out too. So, and I think I can get away with it.
I don't know. Detect thoughts is risky as fuck.
I mean, I've got a 19 spell save DC.
What the heck? That's gross. It should be illegal.
And there's a D20, so there's at least
And I have
1 out of
unsettling
50.
words where I can make them roll a D minus a D8 to that.
Don't you have to say something? Don't they know that
Yeah.
shit? They still know afterwards that their brain was red.
Do they know afterwards?
Yeah, that's the problem with all magic that deals with reading. Is directly afterwards that it's been done, like suggestion and friends and shit.
Mm-hmm.
What'd you decide?
Are there desserts ready?
Yeah, so the chocolate lava cakes are on special night, so they have a couple ready to go sitting under the little arcane heating orbs.
Okay. I
Are they
Pick it up,
actually
I take
cooked
it
or are
up
they
too.
like reheated?
They're kind of just reheated. Again, it's a Chili's, it's an Applebee's.
Okay.
It's fine.
When you're here,
Don't
you're
you
here.
say that? Okay, I'm just when you're here, you're here. That's so true.
I'm not gonna.
Has one of the best lava cakes. Come on,
You have a ranking for lava cakes?
there's not very many.
Okay, we don't have time for this. We'll save this for after dark.
how much? The thing is, how much do we want to know where Wendolyn is? Like, that's what I'm trying to decide for myself.
I mean, Spike personally wants to know. Spike really wants to know. Just wants to be reassured that Wendolyn didn't actually betray us. But that's just kind of like his whole thing. Whether or not you or Varian care that much, I don't know.
Carson, you're muted.
Sorry. I mean, do what Donovan would do. I just think risk to reward, or yeah, this could fuck up a lot, and with only the possibility of finding out where Wendolyn is.
I'm not gonna do it. I'm gonna wait.
Okay.
I got too much to worry about.
Go ahead. Make me either a. Actually, let me. Oh, that's a lot. Make me a stealth check for casting detect thoughts and not getting noticed.
25.
Yep. Unnoticed. So, you do not pry deeper?
No, I'm not gonna worry about it right now.
Okay. Eventually, conversation comes to a close. Spike, you can head over with your reheated lava cakes, martinis,
Microwaved.
and whatever you guys do after that. You notice, though, as you kind of turn around and start making your way back into reality, formerly known as Gavlock and the wooden warforged they were speaking to are both gone. And Oleg, you see a light, a few stories up in one of the windows, flicker on and off a few times as the signal
That's
to.
okay. I'm gonna go ahead and head out back outside.
Come in.
You hear a response, Killian. A female voice respond and say, "We're ready in here whenever you are."
Oh, is that Gavlock?
You don't know. You can assume it is, but you don't know.
Wait, shit. What was the plan again?
We're going to meet
We're
them.
we're going into that room and we're meeting.
In the top floor place.
Yes.
Okay, okay. I'll spiral down.
Cool.
Did I notice anything cool? Like,
Make a perception check.
all right.
Don't make me roll on the something happens to.
Now is not the time for something happens.
Perception.
Carson saying that is just begging for someone to do it.
Is a 28.
That's what I thought.
Son of a bitch!
What did I
Austin.
say?
Can I pay if something happens to make that something not happen?
I guess if you want it.
Can plot be the thing that happens?
Plot has
Can
been
advancing the
happening.
story be the thing that
Let's
happens?
just see what happens.
Maybe you'll just be pissed again.
Yeah, we'll keep it simple.
Get out of here, you motherfucker! Get out of here, motherfucker!
I'm gonna, Austin, you absolute goon. I'm gonna stomp your goon ass.
I want to stomp your balls. He's cackling. I can hear him cackling.
Good. Man, all of these something happens I'm rolling suck. Alan, you want something funny or something serious?
Oh man. Let's go funny.
Should have known. As you're circling around, you begin circling your way down. You hear a window slide open on your way down, and a raspy voice call out and said, "Hey! Hey! You! Flying around! Yeah!"
I squawk a little, like, what?
And you fly around and glance up, and you see leaning out is a goblin covered in tattoos and piercings. And he yells down and says, "Hey, I wouldn't normally do this, but I'm really strapped for coin right now. See, I'm a tattoo artist. I do tattoos and piercings. Do you need a piercing or a tattoo? Please? They're only 5 copper each."
What? And I'm like flapping. Right now?
I like I said, I'm really hurting for coin. Are you busy?
He's hawking them from windows.
And Alan can probably guess this, but Killian definitely knows 5 copper for a piercing or a tattoo is dangerously low. It can be anything you want as long as it's no bigger than about yay big.
What is this? Basically, like the college, like St. Patrick's Day tattoos.
So I can also pierce you wherever. I mean, wherever.
This Aarakocra are about to get a
Cloaca piercing.
like. Damn, it kind of upsets me that you beat me to that. That's what I was gonna say. The fact that you knew that that's what I was gonna say.
Sharp watch logo.
Killian goes, dude,
Foul.
how long will it take?
I mean, I can make it quick. It depends on if you want a tattoo or a piercing. Piercing, it takes like 10 seconds. It does not take like 10 seconds. Or, I mean, a tattoo would take longer, obviously, because I gotta inject the ink into your body. That's not how it works. That is a gross reduction of how a tattoo works.
Into my body?
Yeah, I mean, I've never done it on feathers before. Please, and you see, he turns over his shoulder and yells, "Hey, come here! No, not you! You!" And then he holds up a little goblin child and says, "I got children to feed!"
Is he dangling them out the window?
He's holding them at the windowsill. He's not dangling out the window yet.
Michael Jackson style.
Just shaking it around. Look at this child I have. What if I just buy a piercing? You don't have to pierce me.
That's just ridiculous. I don't... I mean, I get... How about jewelry? I can turn some of the rings into rings. Wait.
Yeah, how about like a necklace or something?
Do you have
Or,
someone
like,
in your
a
life you want to
bracelet?
purchase a earring for? Or
No.
navel piercing? A calf
Hell no.
piercing? Those are getting really popular.
Why?
I don't know. Seems really painful. I don't support it. Anyway, gotta
How
love
about-
one.
Here, I'm flying. How about a toe ring?
That's 5 copper. That works.
Alright.
And you float over. He slips a toe ring onto one of your little bird toes.
Actually, I don't know how much gold Killian has. I know.
Enough to pay 5 copper for this independent businessman.
And I just kind of I put my like Cinderella, you know, putting her foot out for like the prince to put the slipper on kind of pose, just like.
And then out of the corner of your eye, you see a light flashing, and you glance over, and you can see the braided hair of formerly known as Gavlock and the shining armor looking out the window.
Does he see this?
And like watches and just lightly just like and the window opens and waves
I'll go to
in.
the community crystal. I'll be right there.
Don't trust that guy. His stations are not sanitary.
It looks like he did his own tattoos.
Absolutely.
I as he's like putting the ring on my toe, can I like peer into the building, like inside?
In his apartment specifically?
Yeah, just like see what's up.
A lot of sketches are pinned up on the walls. Fairly not well kept room. You take a quick glance. There are maybe 4 or 5 goblin children running around, playing with a variety of needles and ink bottles and things like that, having fake sword fights, and you can hear a female voice yelling from the other room, but it's just incoherent from your perspective.
None of the kids are tatted or anything, right? I gotta know. Okay, no, I'll say Killian is just curious about the living situation, maybe a little bit worried about, how the kids are doing.
They seem
Do
healthy.
they seem okay?
Yeah.
They seem okay?
There's
Okay.
no blood or obvious wounds or things like that. They're enjoying themselves. They don't seem unhealthy.
Oh god. Okay.
And like he starts pleading to you as he's like putting the ring on. He says, "Yeah, all these changelings are really good at like the body art and stuff like that. I'm trying. I came up here from Kyber's Gate. I got this apartment I can't afford. You know how it is. And now you get it.
Why not switch to like jewelry or something? You got the material.
Now that I
Yeah,
thought
make
about
some-
that.
Maybe try making some paintings or something with the ink.
Painting. Now you're
You
just
know?
being ridiculous. There's no way.
Nah, dude, come on. Family man, he's got plenty of stories, right?
Make a
All those
persuasion
moments
check.
with the kids.
Make a persuasion check. We'll see if you change this goblin's life
All right, persuasion.
with this
Okay.
5 copper purchase.
19.
But you know what? I was about to use this copper and go get one of those delicious lava cakes from downstairs, but you know what? I think it's time. Hey, babe! Here from another room. Yeah? We're gonna start saving money. And there's no response from the other room.
And I'll be like, right on. And like I go for like a fist bump with my other claw foot.
Okay. He accepts.
All right. And yeah, before I go, I say, "Hey, what's your name?"
Rolo.
Ro-
Rolo Robbins.
Not Rolo
My
Robbins.
real name my real name down in Kyber's Gate was Rigmuck, but that's not an upper city name. That's not no. Rolo Robbins. Catchy, right? Gilmock. Yeah.
Wait, what was it again?
Gubmuck?
Is that what she said the first time?
He has said a different name every single time.
Every single time.
It's been so long since I've had that name, I don't even remember what it was. Just call me Rolo Robbins.
Well, you keep on rocking, Rolo, and I'll flap away. I'll flap away and like flick a gold piece at him, and then just leave without seeing his reaction,
Okay.
like
you
the
leave.
cool guy Dono, you know.
You're walking away from an explosion, but you're walking away from charity. So that happens, and you are already told to just fly on over and make it into the room. And at this point, everyone else, by the time, Oleg, you see the signal, everyone else, you get word of the signal. Do you make your way upstairs? Is there anything you want to do before then? 10-4. You make your way upstairs several flights, and this is sort of, it's Tavik's Landing District, which is a hair better than Dura. It's not much better. So you get to the apartments, and they're not large, they're not well furnished or well kept, but they suffice. They're good enough. And so you make your way down through, you meet all varieties of people. You see changelings going to work, practicing some of their different guises, walking down the halls. You get stuck in the elevator for about a full minute with a changeling practicing a new personality, and it's terribly awkward of them going like, nah, wah, and it's terrible. But you make your way down, finally, to where formerly known as Gavlok's room is, and formerly known as Gavlok answers the door as this female with the plated armor escorts you in, and go ahead, everyone, just make a perception check for me.
$14.
Nice.
Dirty 20.
You got a 12.
32. I rolled a 19.
3.
Don't mind.
32 and 3 were real numbers that people just rolled.
Oleg does not have wisdom,
Fucking feast and famine, baby.
as you can tell. I don't know if you can tell, but
So it is a fairly small apartment. Almost immediately as you walk into the front door is the kitchen on your left, opens up into the living room, and branching off from the living room is a curtained door that you assume leads to some bathrooms or bedrooms, extra rooms, whatever it might be. Everything is weirdly cleaned. However, Varian Killian, it is purposefully recently cleaned. Almost too clean, in fact. To everyone else, it's decently furnished. There are windows that overlook from the living room out into the city of Sharn. They are currently open where Killian entered. There's a nice couch and chairs, obviously salvaged from things that people have thrown out. The kitchen's nice, relatively. Everything's clean and well organized. However, Varian Killian, it's too well organized, and you start to look in the places that most people wouldn't think to look. And first thing you notice is that the various waste baskets that are scattered in the kitchen and living room are quite full, but also matted down with other trash, but there's essentially a layer in these trash cans of newspaper remnants, newspaper pages. On top of that, you see that on a shelf sitting in the living room, there are various books, lots of fiction. Some seem to be personal, like journals or something to that effect. But there's also a fairly large lockbox or chest of some kind. There is a little bowl of hard candy on the coffee table that seems to be untouched or recently placed there. Also, Killian, I'm going to say, especially because you entered from a different room, and also with a 32, you specifically notice essentially what is a basket of sorts next to the bookshelf that is full of like map casings, scroll casings, blueprint casings, like just essentially paper storage, but it's just packed tightly full. On top of that, all of you notice that there are instruments on stands. There's, lutes and drums. On the coffee table itself, next to the hard candy, is what seems to be a stack of manuscript paper for songwriting. Varieties of handwritten songs are on there. There are portraits on the walls that seem to be of old famous musicians. But probably none of you would recognize, at the very least. So it's a fairly well-furnished, well-kept apartment that seems to have been well cleaned up before your arrival. But as you enter, formerly known as Gavlock closes and locks the door. Changes back, you see, after several seconds, cloak, armor, face changes back to half-orc Gavlock. True Gavlock. And eventually, once you're all in, he looks at Sim, this wooden warforge, and says, "Come on, offer them some tea, be it, I know we don't host very often, but there's still some courtesies here." And he says, "Yes, sorry about that. Drink preferences. We have decaf, we have tea, we have mixed drinks, beer. Up to you all."
I think I'll
Killian
pass.
Killian says, "I'm good," as he points to his holstered mug.
Smart. Well, if any of you decide on anything, you can make yourselves at home. Grab a drink. Have a seat here. Pulls out several stools. And then finally, Gavlock says, "All right, now that we have a rapport of honesty, you mind if I take off this silly Gavlock disguise? I haven't practiced it very much. I don't like it. It's gross. I didn't put too much thought into it. Can I just all natural? Same for Sim here."
Go ahead.
Sim, you watch as the wooden plates of this Warforged armor sort of sink in and become one, and then eventually change into this sort of like neutral lavender color, leaving behind a changeling. Fairly nondescript facial features, except for a bit of like black eyeline around the eyes, irisless eyes, no pupils, nothing, just completely blank. But white hair that's kind of pulled back and slicked down. Fairly lithe in appearance, and missing one arm. However, Gavlock does not take on the same sort of familiar changeling appearance. Gavlock takes on a very alien, abnormal-looking appearance, entirely bald head, grayed, almost bluish tinted skin. The eye sockets, rather than having eyes with like a specific color or lack of color, it's just sort of receded, indented eye sockets. No nose entirely, and just wearing the armor and cloak that you've seen before, but ultimately entirely featureless. Oleg, you recognize a doppelganger, which is a Dalekier creature. Specifically, it is a creature born and created by the Overmind, which is something you know and feel, but you don't know why or how you know that. You've met doppelgangers, but now you know what they are, and you can recognize them. And Gavlock reintroduces themselves and says, I see, I like creating personalities and working feeling into them. It's sort of a practice. The changeling community, they like to do that. Gavlock, that's a throwaway. I've never done that before. It felt gross. I shouldn't have been that. So Now, I would like to introduce myself. My name is, you just call me Gav. And this is Sim. And,
Pleasure.
I guess now, we can proceed in a bit more unstructured, without time. I've informed Sim a little bit about the current agreements, but Sim, these are the folks that we are working with at the moment. But now, drinks in hand, clock thrown out the window, we can talk. You can ask me more questions, I'd be glad to answer. Sim can answer as well. Whatever you have on your minds.
How did you get in contact with your employer?
While Donovan asks this question, I'm gonna cast Detect Magic.
Okay. I assume that if you find something magical, you're gonna want to like kind of pin on it and figure out what school it is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then
and I will not try to hide this. I will make it very clear that I am on high alert.
Okay. Honestly, by happenstance, Sim here was working with the tyrants, and I had met the tyrants because I've lived in the Dragon Eyes district for a while now. And yeah, it was just one of those happenstance, struck up a conversation. I guess she must have seen the commitment to my personalities and my act, and just got engaged with what I had to offer. Like I said, I kind of served the purpose of getting into places, and I guess I fit the role, as it were. As for if you want specifics, we actually met right here in this pub. I was performing. Sim and I were.
Tingfei de Leondar,
Yes.
how did you get in?
I
It was on an airship, hundreds of feet in the air, in a locked office surrounded by guards. How did you do it?
well, and again, and you probably all pick up on this, even with those of low wisdom, he gets this pride, like before, as if you're opening up your birthday present he just gave you. He gets, like, eager, like, ready, just like, well, says it's, and that's something I've learned in all this process. It's pretty easy to get into certain places or masquerade as certain individuals, and it all fell very beautifully into my lap. I don't know how she got the information, but I was told that Katarine and Tengfei had a meeting. And it's not easy to just get a sky coach ride out to essentially a private airship, so of course I had to track down Katarine, and then that fell into my lap. We'll get there. Once I found out they had a meeting, I had to find a way to accompany them. And it's hard to say no to a bumbling new recruit who is late for his first day on the job, especially one as convincing as I. So I asked for a ride. As a security guard who was late on the first day. Took a little bit of convincing, but they obliged. I got onto the sky ship, or the airship. It evolved from there. Once Katarine was done, I had entered under the guise of... Oh, I was pretending to be his next meeting who had arrived early. I walked in, and then it unfolded that way. So it was a bit of convincing. Playing the role of a mere security guard on the airship.
And Katarine Orion. The Kleinite oil.
Yes, once, the Clanite oil was that was interesting. Again, that was something that was given to me as a resource. I had not planned it that way.
By whom?
Itherno, I now know. But while Katarine was in her meeting, still as a guard, I lured her driver away. Finch, something Finch. Gosh, I can't believe I forgot the poor sap's name. You think
Varian would remember. What is
Varian
it?
would remember. I believe it was Baron.
Baron.
Just that's right. You'd think I'd remember after going to kill him a second time. Barden, that's what it was.
Yeah.
You'd think I'd remember after going to kill him a second time. While Katarine was in her
moment.
I lured Barden away, coffee or something else. While he was doing that, sprinkled a bit of oil. I had figured the path they took to get back to her office. I'm not that familiar with Sky Coach controls, but I tried to figure out which one would be the last one he would activate, or try to use. Applied oil to that one. Came back to Sky Coach, meeting was over, on the way back, used that control, crash landed. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was a sure thing, but I absolutely forgot to account for the feather tokens. I can't believe that. I'm just not used to everyone having them in the upper city. Well, Katarine used her feather token, obviously, as the Sky Coach was crash landing. Barden must have as well, so they didn't die. And you could see at this point he starts glaring over at Sim, which was an unfortunate oversight.
You didn't think of everything.
Apparently not. But luckily, Sim was positioned in such a way to try and accommodate for such an event.
Did she give you the blast disc too?
In a way.
Which one of you was it that had the brilliant idea to disguise yourselves as our compatriot?
And you fucked up Oleg's eyebrows. Which is a crime in and of itself.
By the way.
Yes, and Gav looks at you, and he says, "Thank you for that lovely compliment. It was me. After I learned of
Not a compliment.
Sim's unfortunate lack during that scenario, it was imperfect. I had only read about the previous cases in passing at the newspapers. The sketches and copies of your visages weren't of great quality, obviously, and I tried to remember who was doing what at the. So it wasn't perfect, but it was enough apparently to pass as Cornelius. So I did that, and I went to try to take care of Barden, the last witness. Yes, and your eyebrow made quite a noble sacrifice, and it's led you here. So that was congratulations. That was good.
Thank you for the congratulations. Actually, I have a question not about the case. Are you still in contact with the Overmind?
You see Oleg, make an insight check.
Fuck that.
Oh shit.
Wow, Oleg might have actually rocked this guy.
3. Fuck that shit. Oleg doesn't got shit.
All of you get a little tense as Gav leans forward to Oleg very intensely. And kind of under his breath, but loud enough for you to hear, says, "The Overmind sends his regards." And he lunges forward out of his chair, and then immediately says, "I'm just kidding, no. That was a very short period of my time. I was just born, barely knew him. I'm not still in contact, no." But I could relay some information, what I know, if you are so inclined.
It's not pertinent to this case, but I would like to know more information at some point.
Oh, sure, of course.
Well, outside of that, really, I think what you came up with then a plan, for possibly having this thing go on a roll. Oh yes, Vidian, I'm sorry. Yes.
What about him? And I minor illusion the dude with the giant sword.
I heard about that. I unfortunately can't say I'm familiar, but I heard about that. That was barbaric. That was brutal.
Seemed a little unrefined for your taste.
Well, you've started gaining followers. It's unfortunate because they're not quite as artistic as you. You said that she hired him, or do you think otherwise?
Possibly. She's a very persuasive, well-connected woman. I can't imagine she would find it difficult to convince anyone to do anything, but as far as him specifically, I'm not sure exactly the connection. Okay, here's what I think, and take this with a grain of salt. I'm sure you don't like or trust me at all.
I will be asking, do I believe him?
Yeah, I
in
figured.
A moment.
He says, I normally expected, like any artist, that whenever you appreciate someone's work, kind of do it on your own time, You write your own little stories, you play your own little songs in admiration of them. Something of this grand scale, for a first time, that sounds a little too pre-planned. I assume this gentleman was hired. For someone to just, on a whim, go out and do that, unless they left a trail as big as a canyon, I can't imagine that this was just some random copycat or random follower or whatever might be.
There was a madness in his voice. A madness as he carved through solid stone with a great sword. You're absolutely sure you know nothing of this?
No, like I said, it smells well connected. She seems to have an unlimited amount of coin to use at her disposal. I imagine it wouldn't be too difficult to acquire a magical weapon or adamantine weapon or whatever it might be, but
I have a question for you other than our plan. How much is it to rent your services?
I'm kind of legally bound to help you now, right?
Well, yes, but yes, I'm just curious how much she paid you.
Looks over at Sim.
Maybe you had 2 different paychecks?
Well, not necessarily. It wasn't... the paycheck was nice, of course, but she also... She paid in connections, if that makes sense. Whenever I had this idea... Barden Finch, for example. I had heard stories about blast discs from the war, and I had thought of how convenient it would be to place something that would detonate upon a certain act. And she immediately responded with some options. Of course, some of them she could act on, some she could not, but there was a certain... I don't know, there's a certain power in that now we have those connections. So
She gave you a canvas for your ideas.
exactly. And I guess for the record, she didn't necessarily pay me per hit, but sort of has paid me almost a salary or a wage for the entire work of art. My job, I will go ahead and be forthright, was to kill a dragon-marked member of each house.
That's it?
That was it. However, each one would net me 5,000 gold. And so then each kill, and also she paid for expenses. What a lovely woman. That's hard to come by.
Yes.
Like, really that cheap?
Well then, you were saying that you were going to kill, you said you were going to kill, Marks the Kenneth next. I mean, did you have like a next step after that? Because you still have other houses. I'm sure that you were planning on. And aren't you going to be disappointed with leaving your work behind? Do you not have a successor of some sort?
I hadn't thought about that.
Oh, you haven't.
Let me put something else forth for you to think about. Yes, you've got the legally binding contract, but I don't think that really matters to somebody like you. I think you have an overwhelming self-interest which governs all of your choices. So let me put forth something to you. Do you think if Vanilla Donna would hesitate for a second to send somebody to kill you? Or you? I turn to Sim. I'm sure you're quite good at what you do. We've seen your work. But you're not the only ones out there. We already know of one other she's hired. I summoned the minor illusion of the guy. Who knows what he's capable of. And I'm sure there's more where he comes from. So, in the coming days, consider very carefully where your interests lie. Us, with the possibility of making some sort of life in exile, or the near certainty of meeting a similar fate to the ones you have dealt out to so many of the past weeks.
Carson, make an intimidation check. With
Have
advantage.
bardic inspiration.
I
Donovan says, yeah, what
Oh!
he said.
is that a D8?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do.
Ba-da-ba-da.
Okay. Intimidation? 29.
Dollar bills, y'all.
And it's hard to read such a characterless, detailless person. Like, with a changeling, you can kind of see they still have, like, the eyebrows, and they still have, you know, general facial features. This doppelganger lacks almost everything that makes up a normal humanoid face, so it's hard to tell exactly what's going on. But you can see the occasional glance over towards Sim looking back a bit worried. And then finally Gav says, well, what good art if you can expect everything from it? It's got to be innovative. It's got to be changing, gut-wrenching. It's got to tell that good story. People love... And at this point, you can all tell he's not talking to you guys. He's talking to himself. He is reasoning to himself. Like, and at this point, even Sim occasionally glances over at you all like, Gav says, people love a hero story. That would be the person that they thought. Yeah. Right. Good point. And then with a little bit of eagerness now, he sits forward on the couch and says, alright, any other questions, any other thoughts you want to get out there? I turns to you, Varian, and in a very unaimed, not well-aligned joke, he says, I have to get some sleep if I'm going to kill you tomorrow.
Yes, I suppose you do.
You should stick to killing people. Your comedy routine, not very good.
I actually have. Go ahead. Yes. Oh, friend.
Can I check the maps and blueprints?
Sure. Are you going to ask, or are you just going to, like, walk over and start?
Yeah, I'll just, like, say, may I, and then gesture.
Yeah. And as you do, and it confirms, as he's saying, he says, oh, be my guest. That's sort of the, again, if I... no, it's quite magnificent. If I need something, bam, it's at my door within the hour. So yes, in there you'll find blueprints for Morgrave University. You'll find the layout of Tinkfei de Lurindar's private airship. She manages to get it all, and it confirms. And specifically, what you note, it's basically a lot of blueprints of places you've been. Or at least where the investigations have occurred. And it's also blueprints of some places you've never seen, such as Merrick DeCannet's office in Dragon Towers, and some of the offices of Morgrave University. So, yeah, it kind of confirms that this is sort of where they were keeping their plans. Blueprints.
Okay.
Does my detect magic reveal anything?
That's right, thank you. So, of course, the things he's wearing, you also get an almost identical signature from the adjacent room. Specifically, you are able to detect, I'll go and give this to you, the same cloak and armor in the next room. So, clearly, they both have a set of this glamour stuff. On top of that, there is the lockbox sitting on the bookshelf. Pretty easily you identify, even, just getting the magical signatures on it, is full of spell shards. Those, little gems that contain information. Because they would have had to give his stuff back, he has his, magical club and things with him. Or at least set off to the side on a counter. And then it's from there, it's a lot of mundane magical stuff. Nothing that registers as incredibly powerful evocation or anything. It's a lot of performative things. Wands of flowers and pyrotechnics and stuff like that might be littered around. Same with magical instruments.
Did we ever find out what that club was exactly?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay, cool.
Basically, a meta. It's attunement by a spellcaster. You use your spellcasting ability modifier for
for the attack and damage rolls, when you have advantage on an attack roll with this, you can deal force damage instead of bludgeoning. And when you use your action to cast a cantrip, you can use your bonus action and make a melee weapon attack using the club.
That's sick. The question I have is, what is it in for you? And I look at Sim. I say, why are you here? You say y'all two are partners, but what is your purpose in this whole thing? Like, what do you want?
So Sim looks over at Gav and looks back and says, he's my dad. Of course I would do anything for him. And if any of you want to make a history or arcana check, or nature check, nature would work just fine as well.
History sounds good.
Yeah.
It's 25.
15.
Mike, what'd you get?
Got an 11.
That?
Yeah, checks out.
Yeah, that's it right there. You got it right. So that's... Oleg would especially know this, being a Dokir aficionado. That's more of a myth than anything. It is a little bit speculated on the origin of changelings. And one of those origins is that they might be part doppelganger, or that doppelgangers led to the evolution or birth of changeling. But there's nothing that has proven that. And so it's either completely newfound information and a great discovery, or totally false.
Interesting. Do you know that for a fact, or is this something that you just kind of believe strongly?
I mean, we're too similar to doubt such a thing, and he looks at Gav and looks back and says, I've received some visions, messages, things, so.
Visions?
Yeah, people knowing me, people I'm familiar with telling me that he is my dad, and of course, yeah, all kind of adds up. Occasionally I'll hear a voice that says it's so. Once I started questioning it.
And Elsie, do you sometimes have the ability to listen to people's thoughts?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Yeah.
and my dad does too. Apparently it's genetic. Yeah.
Oh, it's genetic. That's
Yeah, he can do it too.
Do you have when this happens, do you have like a itch or a pain anywhere?
Yeah, kind of like in the back of my head, and back, like my ears kind of tingle, burn a little bit.
Is that the same place for you as well?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. All right. Other than that aside, we'll talk about that later, I suppose.
I have to toilet cat, so do what you need to do.
Yeah,
I'll be
go ahead.
right back.
Okay.
Okay, I think we should open the floor for anybody else to ask questions.
Yeah.
Spike, if you have anything you want to ask, Donovan, Killian.
I'm good.
Yeah, and then it's getting kind of late, so I'm just gonna propose the front half of the plan and to him, and then we can spend the next week of real time thinking about it.
Yep. We have about 10 minutes left here. Yeah, I am personally worried about the connection of the overmind to what's happening.
Oh yeah, wasn't it earlier today when we had the whole thing with Spike talking about his arm talking to him,
Yep.
and then you talking about
Hearing voices as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spike and
we
I
were
had
just-
that connection.
Yeah, we have those things on the back burner. We have Wendelin on the back burner.
We literally have like a couple pots just on fire on the back
Yeah.
of the stove, just like that'll be fine. It'll
Yeah,
go out eventually.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
yeah. We're fighting the active grease fire right now, and we'll get to the smaller pans.
Yeah, all these pans on fire, that will probably be the cause of these little other fires that we're just kind of ignoring right now.
Yeah.
So I see that Alan stepped away, but
We only have about like 10 minutes left, so we were just planning on
Yeah.
going over the plan real quick.
yep, that was essentially what he was gonna say. Is like, so I mean, I've got to kill 2 Dragonmark people in the next 3 days. So
Okay,
what's your plan?
precisely that. I'm the next target, so you're going to kill me. At least, that's what Ethan O'Donnell said. Now, what were the particulars? Was there a prescribed method of my end? I assume it was going to be when you met disguised as Gavathian.
Ithranel does not know about the plans leading up. I don't trust that a lot to me. I hate to be a huge doubter right now. Preemptively, to kill you. So whenever I met you the first time, Sim was acting as your advisor. Met him earlier that day, and we got his personality and things like that.
Wow. And they had this down pat, didn't you?
Yes, and I know we don't really have time to go into details. I had this whole thing planned. It was going to be very nice. It's the whole reason why I changed the
go on.
Okay, see, tomorrow it's a holiday, right? It's the day of peace. Crime is usually lower at that time. Violence is at an all-time low on this holiday. And whenever we met your advisor the other day, we killed him and stuffed him into the closet. So, whenever you would meet with me and Sim, your false advisor, tomorrow, we were going to reveal ourselves and tell you that what was going on, and then try and kill you. If you, it would have been a whole lot better. But your advisor's dead. You'll probably get a new one. That was. I'm really sorry.
I'm making mental plans to kill them.
Oh.
It was established I had a mentor-mentee relationship with them, so just through narrowed eyes I go,
I suppose that's how it goes.
Back alley crew.
But there was no prescribed method. What? Explosion, poison.
No, and originally the idea, it's just not my style. It felt gross doing it. We were going to have you believe this internship and send you away out of the city for good. But that was too far. I didn't want to do that. So, here we are. So there was no prescribed way.
We could always actually send you out of the city for good. Quote unquote.
Interesting.
Wait, let me clarify something quickly. Did Ithranel Adonna specify particular members of Dragonbark houses?
No.
And you just chose who would be easiest?
No, that was kind of the idea.
You're a performer.
Exactly. Katarine, that was easy. Invigus Torun, that was easy. Tengfei, that was a little bit harder because he's a little bit high ranking, and I knew you would be.
Katarine Orion didn't even know she had a dragon mark. How did you know?
You really want to know?
I asked.
It's amazing what a bit of seduction can get you, right?
No. Valley too low.
But I figured that apparently the idea, and I got this feedback, which I thrive off of feedback, was that that I couldn't just go for the low-hanging fruit. It wouldn't make that much of an impact. So I had to raise up my stakes a little bit. Went for Tengfei. The next mark, Iago de Galanda. He was a nobody. Truly, I never even heard of him. But figured you and your popularity, becoming an investigator, things like that, it would. And also, plus, I was a little worried about you catching us so close and being on our tail, so I figured it would lower morale of you all. No offense, you know how it might be. So,
Yes.
figured it'd lower morale. And also, I didn't want to go for the low-hanging fruit. I mean, you're the heir. You're important. You're special. So, I had to raise the bar a little bit.
Okay. Did she specify these were meant to be public? Was that an understanding?
More or less an understanding. At least something that was noteworthy. It would catch the eye. After some time, at least.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. She wants a spectacle? Give her a spectacle. Either an explosion or a room drenched with blood. You're going to do it at the university, yes?
Yes.
Alright then, that's where it will happen. Now, if it's an explosion, we won't need a whole body. Knowing what you do, I'm sure you could procure, shall we say, parts. Only a few need do. Can you do this?
Of course. As much as I hate to deviate from a plan, it's a little like jazz, you know. You gotta improvise and make do, and it's a little exciting. And at this point, he like gestures to everyone's like, "Don't you think it's exciting putting on this show? It's a bit of fun."
I can't wait for the curve in the plot where when we kill the main villain.
Yeah. I rolled down my sleeve a little bit, kind of revealing the Dale Keir stuff. and the arcane things, and I say, Oleg, you think you could repeat your work?
Yes, yes, I very much can.
I believe I could part with a little bit of blood. We put it on ice. I carry it with me, as well as these parts. I go in. Do you have another blast disc? Or should I handle the explosion myself?
Good. I could get something. Sure.
Alright. Varian Dimadoni goes in that room. And out comes someone both invisible to the eye and to the world. Strewn inside are the only things that remains of him, and surrounding me are the only people that will know. If we know Adonna, as I'm sure you realize, is a dangerous woman who, if she gets a whiff that we are onto her, will change tactics, and it will be our word, the word of, well, I won't do you the disservice of calling you common criminals, but criminals nonetheless. And some investigators. 2 Dragonmount investigators, yes, but simple investigators nonetheless. We will have to be clever in how we approach this to take her down. Tomorrow, Varian Dimadoni dies, and we move one step in front of her.
What's everyone else thinking?
I'm tired.
Well, besides Travis, we're almost done.
I'm thinking. Damn. I like this new variant. I'm gonna buy him a hot lava cake.
Really,
I'm thinking that I'm gonna tell my daughter not to go to school tomorrow.
call it sick.
Oh God!
I'm gonna
be like, hey, just don't go to school. Just don't ask why. Just don't go to school.
No one outside this room can know.
I'm still gonna tell her not to go to school.
like actually, although he like part of him is saying like, hey, let's do some cool experiments and stuff, like exploding bodies and whatnot. He's also looking at Varian and he's like, I need to have a talk with that boy. Like truly, he cares about Varian a lot. Like he does say like, hey, let's like it'd be cool to kill you and whatnot. But, he cares about Varian a lot. He's about to have a talk with him.
See, now that we're not doing it after dark thing, but I gotta pin that down a little bit. That feeling that Oleg's feeling, that's what Gab feels. He's like, that would just be cool. That would be fun to do. Like what?
Oh yeah, Oleg likes.
He sees
Oleg
it.
likes Gav. Oleg likes Gav a lot.
He gets it. Oh man, we'll talk about that later. We gotta delve into that more. Any other final parting thoughts to this plan?
Alan, do you have any thoughts?
Alan literally just texted me and said, "What's going on?" And I said, "I don't know." And Alan, because we're both tired and zoned out, just because I'm very.
Can we do a
sleepy.
quick recap of what is?
Okay, we can do that afterwards. I need to fall asleep.
They're
I'm
gonna
so
fake
dead.
Varian's death. And
Right.
so
I got that much.
With an explosion.
with an
With
explosion.
parts of Varian's body.
I got that as
okay.
well.
No, I asked him if he could acquire corpse parts that you could
Obviously.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
you could
Parts of
dock your
Varian's
tel-
body. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Parts of Varian's body. Damn.
Dude, I'm off the edge. I'll chop off my own finger. I'll go Peter Pettigrew in this bitch.
You can do it. You can do it, but you've done it once. Why not do it again?
If everyone would like, we could pick up on these thoughts later next week.
Yeah. 'Cause we still have to discuss what we're doing with Merrick's to Kenneth, but yeah,
Sure.
I think this is a good place to end.
So it's essentially as to sort of seal the deal in an agreement. Pours everyone an alcoholic beverage, and does a little toast, as sort of like a little truce thing. But Gav makes a passing remark to Varian and says, "You are surprisingly good at this. Just that was good. That's a good plan. If I
I'm full of surprises.
very ominous. If I happen to make it out of this and I can live in Breland again, I would love to work with you some more. That'd be this. Put on quite the show.
Another internship.
It's gonna happen.
But I'll just act as in this play. Tomorrow's opening night. Don't flub your lines.
And Donovan can report it. And then he takes a big swig. And then you can start talking about the next phases of the plan. And that's where we'll stop.
Cool.
Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna vaccine sleep. I can tell you that much.
Vaccine sleep.
Well, according to Xavier, that's a not sleeping at all. So,
Oh yeah, I couldn't sleep the other night. Right.
Because of like discomfort or just like generally?
I did that thing where it's just like I had a long day Saturday and I should have like passed out, right? And so I lay down and I'm just like, nope, you're up.
Yeah.
And then I look and I'm doing that thing where I'm like laying down and I do that until it's like 4:00 in the morning and I'm just like,
Fuck it.
cool, I guess I'm up now. So
Yeah.
that's what we're just gonna do.
It's like that dichotomy of like, I'm tired but I'm not sleepy, or I'm sleepy but
Mhm.
I'm not tired. Like,
Yeah.
it's the worst. Well, thank you guys so much for sticking around, staying up the extra half hour.
Yeah.
It's getting brutal, getting gruesome.
Yeah.
And I gotta make it worse at every turn. Any chance I get, I gotta make it a little bit worse.
No, I like where this. I like where this is going.
Oh, I want to do an After Dark so bad with you. Like, just Carson. Like, Anyway, so thank you guys. We'll start playing the one-shot for the Mecha Hack, which I'm very excited for. Make some mechs and fight other aliens and robots and stuff. And we'll get started on scheduling the fireside chat. So if you want to hear us talk more about the campaign, talk about the characters, talk about D&D, talk about literally anything, subscribe to my Patreon, and you'll get it. You get a live stream in the VOD. It'll be super fun. Essentially a bunch of Sharn Nights After Dark squished into one. I think that's it. Any thoughts, you guys? Parting words?
It's never easy, is it?
soon we'll be done. Maybe in the year.
I like
Fuck
seeing
rich people. That's what I have to say. Fuck rich people.
Fuck reporters. That's what I have to say.
Hey man, I don't see reporters going around killing people for fun like fucking rich people, so you can hop off my dick.
That's fair.
Mr. Bankman.
Sometimes
Yeah,
people need
I was literally listening to a podcast today about a reporter who reported on the murders that he did. So,
Oh my god.
That's sick.
That's
Okay, I'm
Oleg.
going to bed.
Yep, it is
I'm
bedtime.
done.
Good night, everyone, and we will see you next week. Same Sharn time, same Sharn place.
Sharn, go the fuck to sleep.
Be there, don't miss it.